There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz .jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Looking for a company where ownership, respect, and teamwork are more than words? A place to develop your skills, share your ideas, and reach your full potential. At CGI, you are more than an employee. You are a CGI partner. Here you can be an owner and actively shape our future strategy and direction and benefit from our collective success. Be creative as you develop innovative solutions and collaborate with colleagues and clients to address today's complex issues. Be supported by taking on interesting assignments that deepen your skills and working with people who champion your development and well-being. Together, as owners, let's turn meaningful insights into action.
Good morning, and we are here again today to turn things around. We are live at City College of Calamba for Jobs180.com's Marketing Me Webinar 2026. This webinar is created to prepare you for your future careers ahead. With us today are respectable names in different industries from Jobs180.com, Makati Medical Center, TTEC, and ADP Philippines. So, stay tuned to learn more about what to expect in the world beyond college. Before we further dive into our program today, let us all ask the guidance of our Lord, to be followed by the singing of the national anthem and the City College of Calamba hymn.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise God, all creatures here below. Praise God above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Welcome again to Jobs180.com's Marketing Me Live. Handa na ba kayo? If handa na, give this video a thumbs up. And again, my name is Oliver and I'll be your host for today. To our city scholars, we'd like to know where you're from. So please put in your names and please put in your course and name in the comment section. And we encourage you guys to ask questions. Sabi nga nila, huwag mahihiyang magtanong. Attendance and evaluation will be released at the end of this webinar. So if wala pa ang inyong friends in this event, please mention them in the comment section so that they will not miss out in this opportunity to learn something new today. Please be advised the recording of this webinar will be posted on Jobs180.com Facebook page and YouTube channel. So if ever you miss the chance to watch this video or this live, or if ever your connection cuts or fluctuates, you can always rewatch this session on our YouTube and Facebook pages. To warm up this event with her opening remarks, let us give the stage to Dr. Jerby Armuya. She is the Vice President for College Advancement and Relations.
Isang makadiyos at makarizal na pagbati sa ating lahat. Warm greetings to our partners from Jobs 180 and of course our graduating students who are with us in this webinar. Today's webinar is more than just an online session. It is a meaningful step towards the professional life you are about to begin very soon. As you move from the classroom to the workplace, the knowledge and habits you build will now shape how you enter, adopt, and succeed in your future careers. We are pleased to partner with Jobs 180 for this timely and relevant discussion. In today's competitive market, having a degree is important, but knowing how to present yourself, work with others, and communicate effectively is just as essential. This webinar is designed to help you become not only employable, but also truly workplace ready. In this webinar, you will start by looking at job applications using resume links, a modern approach that allows you to go beyond a traditional resume. This method helps you showcase your skills, experiences, and strengths in a more dynamic and professional way, giving employers a clearer picture of who you are and what you can offer. Maraming salamat po, Jobs 180, for introducing this innovation to our students. Also, you will get insights on diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. As you enter organizations made of people from different backgrounds and perspectives, understanding DEI will help you work respectfully, build stronger relationships, and contribute to a positive and inclusive work culture. Another key topic is workplace etiquette. Professional behavior, proper communication, and respect in the workplace play a major role in how you are perceived and how you grow in your career. These small actions that are often make a big difference. Finally, our esteemed resource speakers will guide you in becoming an effective, confident, and collaborative communicator. Clear and confident communication is essential for teamwork, leadership, and professional success. We encourage you to listen actively, take notes, and reflect on how these lessons apply to your own career goals. Welcome, and let us begin this important conversation with Jobs 180.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jerby Armuya. It is our pleasure as well to be with you in this event. To our audience, please hit the heart button for your virtual applause. And we do have exciting topics to learn today to help us be more prepared as we pursue our passions and careers ahead. So please do, as a reminder from Dr. Jerby, take note of the things that you will learn today. To make this event even more special, I'd like to give this platform or the stage to Dr. Ronald A. Gonzalez. For his message to us, he is the college president of City College of Calamba. Dr. Ronald?
Isang makajos at makarizal na araw po sa ating lahat. It is with great pleasure and sincere appreciation that I extend my warmest greetings to all the participants of Skills Up for Success, empowering CCC students with employability skills, an initiative organized by the jobs180.com. This program stands as a timely and purposeful response to the rapidly changing landscape of employment and the increasing need to equip students with skills that go beyond academic learning. In today's highly competitive and ever-evolving workforce, a college diploma alone is no longer enough. Employers now seek individuals who possess strong communication skills, adaptability, critical and creative thinking, collaboration, and professionalism, and also work ethic, positive work ethic. Activities such as this play a vital role in bridging the gap between education and employment by providing students with practical knowledge, real-world insights, and exposure to industry expectations that will help them succeed in their chosen career paths. We therefore commend jobs180.com for their commitment to career development and youth empowerment. By partnering with educational institutions, you help shape future professionals who are not only competent in their fields, but also prepared to navigate the realities and challenges of the modern workplace. This collaboration reflects a shared mission of fostering employable, confident, and globally competitive graduates. To our CC students, this program is an opportunity to invest in yourselves. Take full advantage of the lessons, discussions, and experiences that will be shared with you today. Remember that learning does not stop at the classroom door. It continues through experiences, self-reflection, and a willingness to grow. As Peter Drucker says, the best way to predict the future is to create it. May this activity inspire you to take an active role in shaping your own professional journey by continuously developing your skills, strengthening your character, and pursuing excellence in all that you do. And as you prepare to enter the professional world, may you carry with you the confidence, discipline, and sense of purpose needed to succeed. Let this serve as a reminder that employability is a lifelong process, one that requires continuous learning, resilience, and adaptability. Once again, congratulations to job180.com, the organizers, partners, and participants for making this meaningful endeavor possible. May Skills Up for Success leave a lasting impact on our students and contribute to the development of empowered, employable, and future-ready CCC graduates. Thank you very much, and we wish everyone a productive, engaging, and successful program. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ronald, for those kind words. And it is truly an honor to be your partner to ensure that our future graduates are prepared for their future careers and passions ahead. So, without further ado, here is our schedule today. Today with us are the topics that will be discussed by jobs180.com, in which we're going to talk about job applications using the resume link. And then it will be followed by Makati Medical Center with their topic DEI, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion in the Workplace. TTEC would also follow this topic for their talk about workplace etiquette and personality career coaching. Lastly, our speakers will be from ADP Philippines to ensure that we know how to communicate well using assertive communication. Okay, again, to our audience today, CT scholars, make sure that you comment your course and name in the comment section and invite your friends to ensure that they know that this webinar is ongoing and they would learn something new today. At huwag kayong mahihiyang magtanong, comment your questions so that we can read them later and we can ask them to our speakers after their talk. To introduce to you our first speaker for today about resume link, use job applications using the resume link. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. He is a trusted resource speaker and has done over 1,000 plus career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. Let's welcome our first speaker from today from jobs180.com, the managing director, Mr. Kim Chua.
Everyone, my name is Kim Chua. You heard it right. May wapo, no? Baka Kim Chu lang ang maalala ninyo. So in this session, what I'll be doing is I will be sharing with you itong tinatawag natin the most secure tool for job application, and that is called the resume link. Yan. So when you created your resumes, I think you have your checklist. Amongst the checklist that another thing in your checklist that you have to consider is that you should only have one file. So the idea here is when you apply to companies, nababawas yung pabalik-balik, yung tumatagal doon sa proseso. Now, speaking of proseso, it is also very important that you want it to be efficient. And by efficient, I mean you need to get feedback sana coming from your point of action. And using this tool, you'll be able to know if you're being processed or not. Another thing in my checklist is that wala po itong bayad, libre po yan. Mukha lang ako salesman, pero absolutely for free itong ikwento ko sa inyo. And the most important question for this day and age called resume link. What is the resume link? Resume link by definition is a personalized URL. It's a link that anyone can open online anytime. Okay? So ano ang example niya? Let me use the sample that you're seeing. It says there, John Santos Halimbawa lang, pangalan mo, John Santos. So, ang resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. Yan na ang resume or resume link mo. So how will you make one? The first step is you have to register. This is absolutely for free. And for you to register, you simply go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com. You may also visit your specific school career portal provided by Jobs180, and you can also register your account from there. Now, once you're inside your account, you have to fill in the blanks. So these are the things that you have to fill in. I will not go through one by one because obviously you guys can read. Sundan nyo lang. Lagyan nyo lang dito yung account information nyo, personal details nyo, education background, as well as your work experience. Kung meron kayong work experience. Kung wala naman, you can already skip that portion. Now, for those who have already created, you might be reactive, di ba, sa Canva format. Then, ang magandang balita na lang here is that you just have to copy and paste. Mo dun sa file format na nagawa nyo, papunta dito sa resume link. Ba't mo idilipat? Para maging secured yung information ninyo. Okay, bakit magiging secured? I'll tell you as we continue. In the meantime, after you fill out those information, you start by creating your resume link. Ano bang basihan ng resume link? Ang basihan, simple lang. Pangalan ninyo. So halimbawa lang, ang pangalan mo nga John Santos, then you just create .com. If ever lang may karoon kang kapangalan na ibang tao na unahan ka mag-register, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niyan, this name has already been taken. Pag taken na, huwag kayo malulungkot, no? Ang pwede natin gawin, maging creative. Pwede mo balik rin. Pwede mo sabihin Santos John. Pwede mo lagay J Santos o kaya Santos J. Depende sa link na gusto po ninyo. Basta wala kayong kapareho kahit may kapangalan. Paalala ko lang rin, huwag kayong OA. Do not overdo it. No, do not create something like Cutie Pie o kaya Lover Boy, 'di ba? Kasi it doesn't sound professional, 'di ba? Imagine mo na lang ikaw ay mag-submit sa mga kumpanya tapos sasabihin mo, sir, mag-apply po ko sa inyo. Tatanungin ka ng HR, ano pong resume nyo? Sasabihin mo, ang resume link ko po ay eldiablo.jobs180.com. O diba? Pag sinabi mo yan, baka matakot yung HR. So I don't recommend you do something like that. Okay? Just stick to your name. Whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Now, moving forward, after you create your resume link, you have to use also a valid email. Email na nabubuksan natin, kagaya ng Yahoo, Gmail, or whatever email that you have na basta nabubuksan ninyo. Never use emails like at facebook.com. Example lang huwag kang gagamit ng Patricia at facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng Robert at facebook.com na email. In short, huwag mo gagamitin yung at facebook.com. Kasi pag yan ang ginamit mo, hindi mo na mabubuksan yung mga pinapadala ng company sa inyo, pati na rin ni Jobs180. Okay, importante, gamitin natin email na bubuksan para tayo ay makapag-verify ng account as proof na ikaw ang gumawa ng account nyo, at more importantly, makareceive ng mga invitations coming from those companies as well as Jobs180. Okay? So you're done with the first step. Simple lang, recap lang. Sa mga late dumating, catch up kayo. Ang first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Let's go to the next step. The second step is the most logical of all the steps. Kailangan you have to complete the details. Sino ba naman sa inyo mag-apply ng trabaho, magbibigay ng resume, tapos kulang-kulang detalye? Dapat po kumpleto ang information natin. So how will you do that? You just simply go to the website of jobs180.com just by typing www.jobs180.com, or simply visit your school career portal and the powered by jobs180.com, and that is where you now have to log in. Okay? When you log in, kayo lang may alam ng inyong login access. Malamang kayo lang may alam ng email nyo tsaka ng resume link ninyo. Lalong-lalo na yung password. Of course, you don't share it to anyone. Now, once you log in to your job seeker account, then you fill in the blanks. Now, ano ba yung mga blanks na dapat ilagay dito? Unang-una, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, good news. Ano ba yung good news? Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume sa Word, sa Canva, sa PDF, sa whatever file format, all you need to do is just simply copy and paste. Copy and paste na lang all your information papunta dito sa loob ng resume link para maging secured yung mga data nyo. Diba? Para mas mabilis na. Now, if you have not created your resumes yet, then what you need to do is you simply fill this out. Okay? Huwag ka na gumawa sa Word or sa Canva or sa PDF tapos ikakopy mo rin. Doble lang trabaho. Diretso nyo na po dito sa inyong resume link. Now, as I've said earlier, I will not go through this session by telling you what to put in detail by detail by detail by detail because obviously you guys can read. So just fill in all this information. Yung mga nakita nyo dyan, lahat po ng details ay importante. Okay? Isa sa mga bagay na gusto ko lang i-remind, make sure you have your contact information. Okay? Real talk lang tayo, real talk lang tayo. When someone calls you, okay, some of you, you don't answer the call. When someone calls you naman, some of you get to miss that call, no? Because you're busy, you're doing something else. Now, here's my practical application na tip. Okay? Ang gagawin natin, when you receive that call, on the moment that someone's calling you tapos hindi mo kilala, all the more that you should answer the call para lang malaman natin kung sino yung tumatawag. You never know, baka naman company na yan na nag-offer ng opportunity. Now, in the event lang na hindi nyo po na talaga nakita na may tumatawag sa inyo, then I recommend you can send them a message back. Okay, you can reply back by saying, "Hi sir or ma'am, I received a missed call from this number. How may I help you?" Diba? That simple message can go a long way because you never know. Baka yung ni-reply back ninyo ay isang HR na nag-offer ng opportunity. Sa dami-dami naman tinawagan niya, kayo ang nag-reply, kayo pa ang unang i-prioritize. Okay? So very important, you put here all the possible ways na makontak kayo ng isang HR. Lahat po ng meron ninyo, no? Meron kayong Viber, meron kayong mga Messenger, all the possible ways, no, and means na ma-reach out sa inyo, gagawin niya ng HR. At least nandyan yung information niya. Okay? Now, another thing you should consider here is to put your work options. At the same time, you put here education background. Hindi naman to limited lang sa school niyo right now. Even if after your stay in your school, you can also put it here. No? And then at the same time, you also put here your certifications. Kung meron man kayo, mga certification program. And your achievements, you don't limit it only inside the school. Even if it's outside the school, as long as you think it is an achievement, you put it there. Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, I have some reminders here. Unang-una, sa skills, do not limit your skills dyan lang po sa course ninyo. Oftentimes, ang ginagawa ng isang aplikante, doon lang natin nililimit ang sarili natin kung saan, yun kasi ang course natin. Remember, it doesn't mean that you are a graduate of accountancy, ang alam mo lang gawin ay mag-balance sheet, mag-debit credit. Diba? Baka naman ikaw ay marunong sa graphic design. Hindi naman perkat ikaw ay isang engineer, ang alam mo lang gawin ay pang mga engineering na stuff. You might be into arts, into music, into crafts, o di ba? So marami ka ibang mga bagay na alam dyan. Graduate ka na education doesn't mean ang alam mo lang gawin ay magturo. Baka naman mahilig ka sa pag-picture-picture, mahilig ka sa photography, mahilig ka sa mga videography, o di ba? At kung ibang pang bagay pa na alam yung skills, you put it here. Okay? Remember, what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that company. And companies hire you because of your skills. Okay? So you put all the skills here. Now, when it comes to languages, do not limit your languages lang sa iisa. Because sigurado naman ako, at least dalawa na alam nyo. Alam nyo English, alam nyo ang Filipino. To be exact, you know, local dialect, Tagalog. Diba? Some of you knows Kapampangan, Hiligaynon, Bisaya, Waray, Chabacano. Diba? At iba-iba pang mga lingwahe, ilagay po ninyo dyan. Okay? If you know foreign languages, pwede rin. Wala naman to limit sa space. Lagay mo dyan, Japanese, French, Vietnamese, Korean, diba? German, sausage, lahat ng alam mo, lagay mo dyan. So wala po tong limit sa space. Okay? Now when it comes to references, lagay nyo din dito yung mga references ninyo, but make sure lang that you let them know you made them as your reference. Because a lot of times, yung mga nilalagay nyo dito, kayo lang may kilala. Pero sila, hindi nila kayo kilala. So, huwag nyo gagawin yon. Make sure you let them know that you made them as your reference so that they know what to tell about you pag sila ay natawagan. Okay? Now, earlier, some of you might be thinking, Sir Kim, alam ko na po yung resume. Kaya nga, di ba, good news ko sa inyo. Kung meron ka na nagawang resume sa mga Word, PDF, Canva, whatever file format, all you need to do is just transfer it here sa ResumeLink para maging secured. Okay? More than that, okay, you also have some things here na hindi mo makikita sa mga traditional resumes natin. Ano yung mga yan? Simulan ko na sa portfolio section. The portfolio section is where you now upload evidence of your skills. Okay? So example, ano bang ebidensya na graduate? Transcript, di ba? TOR or transcript of records, di ba? TOR, isa lang din yun, no? Ano pa ba? Di ba? Yung mga ebidensya na wala kang criminal record, kagaya niyan, NBI clearance, police clearance, di ba? Ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa, meron kang passport, meron kang visa. So you know what I'm talking about. Pag meron kang mga ganung document, all you need to do is just take a picture or scan them and upload it here. It will make your life easier. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, yung mga HR, marami yung mga pre-employment requirements. Sometimes they will ask for your medical clearance. Sometimes they'll be asking for your academic records, di ba? Or sometimes they'll be asking for any other things that will support yung claim ninyo sa mga skills nyo. So, yan yung mga bagay na pampabilis sa pag-a-apply. You put everything there to make it more efficient. Now, some of you are also thinking, sir, how will I stand out? So, dami-dami na may aplikante, puro kami fresh grad. More than that, marami pa kami mga kasabayang aplikante na may trabaho na. So this is what I recommend. Okay? For you to stand out, you create a selfie video. And you heard me right. Now, create a selfie video. I do not need how to teach you how to create a selfie video. You guys know how to do a selfie video. You guys are doing TikToks. You guys are doing Instagram. So marami kayong mga selfie video yung ginagawa. But this time, what you need to do is you have to create a video and pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Okay? So ano mangyayari dyan? Ano yung mga common questions tinatanong sa atin during the interview? Questions like, tell me something about yourself. Why should we hire you? Yan yung mga things na dapat natin sagutin dito sa ating selfie video. The selfie video need not be very long. Ideally, you only make a selfie video for 1 minute or less. Okay? So kung gusto niyo marami mga videos pa na panilagay, okay lang. Basta wag sobrang haba. Mga 1 minute, okay na yan. Okay? Aside from that, you don't only showcase yung soft skills nyo. Hindi lang siya about communication skills. You also showcase here yung mga hard skills. Some of you might be into, halimbawa lang might be into engineering. No? May nakita ko dati, pinakita niya sa video, how to use a soldering iron, how to properly handle a welding machine. May nakita ko dati IT student. Ang title ng video niya, how to set up a laptop, how to clean computer viruses. O, di ba? May nakita rin ako dyan, mga taga-HRM, mga hospitality management. Title ng video nila dyan, nakalagay, how to fold table napkins, how to set the table, di ba? Yung kubiertos, paano daw ayusin. So, depende talaga kung ano yung mga specialty ninyo, mga specialization nyo, at the same time, ano yung mga skill sets nyo, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? So, kung accountancy ka, pwede mo ilagay dyan, how to balance the balance sheet, yung ledger nyo. Di ba? Lagay mo dyan, debit, credit. Again, biro lang. Depende kung anong gusto nyo ilagay, alam nyo na. Okay? Yan yung mga things you take advantage of using the technology. Alright? Now, moving forward, ano pang maganda sa ResumeLink? Meron tayong tinatawag dito na profile picture. Sa profile picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Just follow the ones on the left side of your screen. Nakatingin ka sa camera, with plain background, you're good to go. Huwag ka na maglagay ng mga nasa right side ng screen nyo. Yung ganyan mga sample na yan, yung mga selfie, mga look up dyan, side view, diba? Yung mga ginawang avatar, hindi po yan mukhang professional tignan. So never do something like that. Okay? So follow the ones on the left lang. You don't have to spend money on going to the studio para lang sa profile picture nyo. Kahit na tayo ka lang sa likod ng dingding. Tumayo ka lang sa harap ng dingding. Okay? And then you can already use it as your blank background. Okay? Now, isa pang good news, meron tayong tinatawag na cover photo. Yan, pasintabi po sa matatamaan hindi lahat ng tao ngayon dito ay gifted with writing skills. Kaya nga tayo gumagamit ng mga AI tools, di ba? Marami tayong mga assistants dyan para ma-express natin ang sarili natin because we're not really good in composing yung mga thoughts natin and feelings into words. Now, you can use images right now to showcase your course, yung background mo, or whatever it is that you want to convey na message dun sa HR. Now, look at the examples in front I'm showing you. Okay, simulan natin dun sa taas, yung nasa right side ng screen. Kagaya niyan, ano kaya siya? Sabi niya iba, sir, siguro yung taong yan, clerical administrative course yan, diba? Or business courses. May iba naman nasagot sa akin, sir, yung taong po yan, makalat, diba? Nag-agree naman ako, tingnan mo yung lamesa, ang kalat-kalat na mga gamit. Diba? Tingnan mo na sa kanan, sa kaliwa pala, sa baba. Ano naman siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, that person I think is an eye expert. Some would say ophthalmologist, some would say optometrist, o basta po eye expert. Di ba? So, depende po yan. May iba, sumagot nga sa akin dati, Optimus. Sabi ko, hindi po yan robot. Okay, tao po yan. Now, another good example pa is this one. Okay, you can also reflect yung pagiging psychology graduate nyo, or maybe you are an artistic person. So, depende kung paano to i-interpret or mami-misinterpret nung tumitingin. Okay? So, again, you have to be careful, but make sure lang when you create your cover photo, it is something that you are trying to, kumbaga, brand yourself. Okay? So aside from that, tingnan mo itong sample. Ito maganda rin. Hindi po ito member na Akit Bahay Gang. Ang gusto niya ipakita dito is that she pala, in this case, there's no shortcut to success. That is what she wanted to say. Diba? One step at a time to reach your goal. Yan ang gusto niya sabihin dyan. So I'm giving you good examples you can draw inspiration from. Kayo na pong bahala paano nyo gagawin. Na pinakita ko sa inyo magagandang example, magpapakita rin ako ng mga wag nyong gagawin. Una-una, wag ka magpapaka-misteryoso. Ito pong sample na pinapakita ko, wag nyong gagawin kasi hindi malalaman ng HR kung sino ba yung kausap nila. Okay? Member ka man ng LGBTQ community, no problem. Put your picture there para at least alam na HR who to expect. A lot of times, yung mga pangalan kasi natin, interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty rin ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think, babae ako. Pero sa totoo lang, di ba, marami rin ako na-encounter ng mga aplikante, kagaya ng George, Kevin, Sam, Nick, Joey. Ano isipin ko? Isipin ko lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Diba? So you better put your picture there para isa lang na HR who to expect. If you don't put anything, ganyan po itsura niyan. Blanco. So wag ka na umasa na babasahin pa na HR yung information nyo because there's nothing to see. Okay? Now, if you want to catch attention, do not do something like this. This is just my opinion. Okay? Kasi ang dating para sa akin, para siyang tamad, happy-go-lucky, parang wala siyang pakialam sa buhay. Okay? Chill-chill lang. So, this is something that, of course, just my opinion na, do not do something like this. Okay? Now, I leave it up to you how you want to design your cover photo and your profile picture. Basta importante, it reflects your personality. At importante, nasisend mo rin yung message across. Now, look at the example here. This is a very good example, si iExpert. All the information you need to see from this person, from this applicant, I think nilagay na niya. Pagmasdan nyo mabuti. Pati yung kanyang attachment sa kanyang document and portfolio section, yung mga patunay na siya ay isang licensed optometrist. O, di ba? So dito pala nagkakaalaman na kaagad. This is the reason why if I'm the HR, it will make it easier for me to process the applicant. Okay, now some of you are thinking, Sir Kim, okay lang ba na hindi ko muna ilagay yung mga information na yan, tsaka na lang pag tinawagan na lang ako ng HR? Yes, of course, you can do that. No, you can wait for the HR to call you before you start attaching those documents. Pero ito paalala ko sa inyo. Remember, ang kalaban nyo ngayon, hindi lang kapwa-aplikante. Ang kalaban nyo ngayon, oras. Time is of the essence. So, kung seryoso ka sa ina-applyan mo, kung ako lang ito yung mas practical na tip ko. Ilagay mo na lahat na dapat ilagay dyan para magkaalaman na. Huwag mo na antayin yung time na tatawag sa HR para ka palang a-action. Doon ka palang mag-a-attach yung mga document. Because you never know. Habang nag-aantay ka ng tawag ng HR, baka naman may ibang aplikante nag-submit na, nag-attach na, na-hire na, ikaw nag-aantay pa rin ng tawag. O, di ba? If I'm making sense, then this is my tip. Maging seryoso tayo sa pag-a-apply, ilagay mo lahat para pa nagkaalaman, dalawa lang pwede mangyari. Pasado ka or hindi ka pasado. Pag pasado, edi good. You go to the next step. Pag hindi ka pasado, good pa rin. Bakit? At least alam mo na hindi ka pasado doon sa application mo, you can already start to move forward to another company. Kaysa naman yung hindi ka nag-attach ng anything, hindi ka naman tinawagan, hindi mo rin alam ano ba nangyari sa application mo. O diba? Umaasa ka lang din. Okay? So better to put everything there. Now, some people are asking, Sir Kim, pag ginawa ko ba yung resume link, in-attach ko lahat ng information dapat ko i-attach, baka naman yung mga details ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo, baka naman nakalantad na to sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secure tool for your job application. So paano mo gagawin yan? Look at the screen now and follow my lead. Pag nag-login kayo sa job seeker dashboard nyo, meron dyan tinatawag na settings. Sa loob ng settings, lagay mo dyan yung ResumeLink settings nyo. Okay? Pag click mo yung ResumeLink settings, you now choose which information you want to show or hide in public. Okay? So just for example lang, para lahat tayo nakaka-relate, if you do not want to show your birthday, ano gagawin? Turn off the birthday button. If you do not want to show your address, ano gagawin? Turn off the address button. So whatever information you want to show or hide, kayo ang may full control. Okay? And the good thing here, it's updated real time. Ibig sabihin na real time, if 2 minutes later, you want to show your address, you turn it on, save your profile, lahat na may alam ng ResumeLink mo, alam na yung address mo. If 2 weeks later, you decide to show otherwise, then it's up to you. No? 2 months later, 2 years later, kayo bahala. Kung anong gusto mo idagdag, ibawas, basta yung last mong sinave sa information mo, sa settings mo, yun na mag-reflect sa inyong ResumeLink. Okay? Ayos ba? Ayos pa. O sige. So ito, reminder na lang sa mga gumawa ng resume, ano yung first step? First step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Dapat kompleto detalye natin. Okay, make sure all the details are there. Lalo na po yung contact information nyo. Yan ang pinaka-importante sa lahat. Dapat na-reach out kayo ng mga HR. Okay? And so we go to the last step. The last step is for you to submit. Okay? You're now going to submit your resume link to those companies. Okay? So paano mo isasubmit yung resume mo sa mga companies? Iba-iba pong paraan. Maraming ways to apply. Pwedeng diretso sa kumpanya, pwede pong online, pwedeng referral, ang dami-dami. So lahat po ng options na yan, pwede mong gamitin ang resume link. Isa-isahin ko lang para wala tayong ma-miss out. Una, you can check out your school career portal. Okay, doon po makita ninyo yung Powered by Jobs 180 na career portal ng school. Nandiyan nakalista lahat ng mga opportunities, lalo na yung mga company partners po ng school ninyo. Aside from that, you can also go to the website of Jobs on AT, which is what I'm showing you now on the screen. Pagpunta mo sa website ng www.jobs10.com, that's jobsonat.com na website, here, there is a search bar. Okay? Pwede mo dyan i-type yung company na gusto mo hanapin. Now, paalala ko lang, ang resume link po, hindi searchable. Okay? Ang pwede lang ma-search dito sa search bar, tatlong bagay. Company name, position title, at saka location. Yan lang ang pwede ma-search dyan po sa website ni Jobs on AT na search bar. Okay? So, halimbawa lang po, nag-type kayo dyan ng inyong resume link. Example lang shoutout ako sa mga people by the name Kim. Gagaya ko, Kim. Diba? Type mo dyan yung Kim. Tingnan mo anong mangyayari. Sa tingin ko, walang mangyayari. Kaka-check ko lang kanina. Wala talaga. Wala kasing company name, walang position title, tsaka walang location na may word na Kim. Okay? So, the only time you'll be able to see the profile of Kim is if you know the exact resume link of that person. Okay? And same goes with all the other names. Yan. So, try nyo para malaman nyo. Another option for you to apply is to submit through email. May iba sa atin nag-a-apply gamit email, isusulat yung kanilang message, Dear HR Manager, I'd like to apply for the following position, and this is my resume. Pagkatapos ano gagawin? I-attach yung Canva, yung Word, yung PDF, and whatever file format. Okay? Napaalala ko lang, hindi ko sinabing mali yung ganun. Ang sinasabi ko lang, tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Okay? Pag ganyan pa rin kayo maggawa ng email or mag-submit pala ng resume gamit ang email nyo, ang tawag ko dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Bakit? Hindi mo kailangan mag-attach ng anything. Just look at the samples I'm showing you. Look at the sample here on your screen. Type the same email. Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. I-type mo dyan yung resume link mo. Antonio Juan de la Cruz, jobsonat.com, send. Tapos na. Ganun lang kasimple. The person who will open the email is online. So ano gagawin niya? Kiklik na niya yung link. Tapos pag-click na ng link, it now gets redirected now to your resume link. Na kung saan, ikaw may control what to show or hide in public. O, di ba? Amazing. O, now, if you have other changes in your resume, you don't have to keep on sending another attachment. Kung traditional format yan, ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, I'm sending you my updated resume. Tapos mag-attach ka na naman ng panibagong mong Word file or doc file. Tapos manipulate ka na address. Dear HR Manager, I'm sending you my updated, most recent resume. O tapos attach ka na naman ng panibagong attachment. Di ba? So you don't have to trouble yourself. No? Huwag mo na pahirapan buhay mo. Ang gawin mo lang, bigay mo lang resume link mo doon sa kumpanya, doon sa HR, and anytime you update it, malalaman na to nung lahat ng binigyan mo ng resume link nyo. O, di ba? Mas maayos ang buhay, mas maginawa. O, another thing pa, okay, is for those who wants to print their resume, I have a good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. You heard me right. One page na lang ang magiging resume mo. Okay? So kung gusto mo i-print, hindi ka na mo problema. Ano kaya yung left margin, right margin, header, footer, ano size kaya ng font, hindi mo na kailangan isipin yan. Fill in the blanks, lahat ng information ng laman ng inyong resume link, tapos print. Pagka-print mo, ano mangyari? Pili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So maginhawa na sa buhay. Di ba? Maginhawa na sa bulsa pag kayo nagpiprint at isa lang ang page, lahat ng information nandoon na. Okay? Oh, yeah. Remember, sa kanina pinag-usapan natin, one of the checklists is that you want your information to be secured. If the answer to that question is yes, and you want your information to really be secured, then hear me out. Do not print your resume link. Okay? Do not print those hard copies na Word file, PDF file, Canva, wag yan ang gagamitin nyo. Ano gagawin natin? Ito gagawin natin. Gumawa kayo tinatawag na resume link card. Okay, para sa may trabaho na, tawag namin business card. So wala pang trabaho, tawag natin resume link card. Okay, anong laman ng resume link card? Ideally, lagay mo lang dyan ang inyong pangalan at ang inyong resume link. You want a little more? Put there your phone number and put there your email address. You want a little more? Put there your school and your course. That's it. Yan lang ang laman ng resume link card nyo. So, paano ka gagawa ng resume link card? You can exercise your creativity. Sa isang pirasong long bond paper or short bond paper, pwede mo ayusin, i-design the way you want it to look. Tapos pag print mo, depende kung gaano kalaki rin kaliit na gusto mo sa resume link card mo. Pwedeng 4 lang, kasing size ng mga index card, medyo malalaki. Gusto mo medyo maliit na konti, 6, 8, 10, or 12, or maybe 20, 20, di ba? 20 pieces sa isang short band or long band paper, pwede na yan. After mo i-print out, you cut them. Gupit-gupit lang. Gupit-gupit, no? Para magmukha siyang resume link card. Yan na yan. Maliit na lang. Okay? And that is what you now give to those companies pag kayo mag-a-apply. Okay? O, yung iba naman sa inyo, nakita ko rin yung mga aplikante sa panahon ngayon with your generation, some applicants will convert the resume link into a QR code. Yan. May iba naman, gagawin nila when someone will ask for the resume, let's say nag-apply kayo, ma'am, pwede mag-apply? Yes, sir, meron pa kayong resume. Ma'am, ano pong gamit nyo? Android po ba or Safari? Nax, ganun, di ba? Pwede ba i-share it ko na lang sa inyo? ganun tipo, di ba? Or i-airdrop ko na lang. Yan, ganun na nangyayari ngayon sa mga environment ng mga nag-a-apply na ng mga aplikante. Pati na rin sa mga companies because a lot of HR people are also adapting to the technology. And besides, sino ba may gusto magbitbit ng sandamakpak na papel na iuwi mo sa opisina? Pagdating mo sa opisina, ano mangyari sa mga papel na yan? It either ends up in the shredder or being used as a scratch paper or sometimes, I don't know, inaanay, tinatambak na lang sa cabinet, sayang lang yung space. O, di ba? So let's be practical na rin. Aside from being earth-friendly, wag na po tayo, you find other ways to make it more efficient. Okay? So use the resume link card. So hindi po ka magalit sa papel, paalala ko lang, I'm just trying to promote ang efficiency natin, not only for security but also for cost efficiency. Now when it comes to the speed of hire, mabilis na yung application kasi kung ano man kailangan attachment, whatever document kailangan ng HR, you can easily attach it there. Kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng hard copy, then no problem. No? You can always choose to print your resume link, 1-column man or 2-column version. Okay? Pero ultimately, ang pinakamaganda rito is yung information mo secured kasi ikaw may control ng privacy settings ninyo. Okay? Ayan. So sa mga gumagamit pa po ng mga hard drive o mga USB para mag-save ng resume, huwag nyo na po gamitin yan. Okay? Sa panahon ngayon, the safest way to secure information is to use the cloud. Yan. Sa ulap na lang, sabi nga, sa cloud na lang natin ilagay ang mga data natin. Doon mo na i-back up ang lahat ng information nyo. Dahil pag nilagay mo pa yan sa hard drive, sa USB or so, saan man, pag yan nahulog, nabagok, diba? Na nahatchingan or nabasa, yan, sira na. Wala na. Tapos na lahat ng file. Okay? So shoutout lang ako for those who wants to be part of our team. We are growing. If you're interested to be part of Jobs on AT, just simply look at this link. Check it out, jobson80.com/jobson80, and you're all very much welcome to be part of our team. Also, a shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, we now have more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide. Okay, 400 plus schools nationwide, including your alma mater. And this is the reason why we'd like to take this opportunity to thank the people behind this program, because without them, we won't be here sharing this information to all of you. Okay? And I hope it doesn't end here. Okay? Kung meron kayong mga kaibigan or kamag-anak na sa tingin ninyo ay makikinabang dito sa ating ResumeLink na tool, feel free to share it to them. Okay? With all those benefits and features, I'm sure they will be delightful to use this ResumeLink. Ayan. And so, as I close, let me just run through lang some frequently asked questions. Ito madalas kasi tinatanong sa atin ng ating mga estudyante or ng mga audience. Una sa lahat, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobson80.com? The answer is absolutely yes. Okay? Yes na yes. Basta alam nila eksaktong resume link mo. Kayo magbibigay nun. Okay? Second question, is it the same as other job platform? Kagaya ng JobStreet, kagaya ng LinkedIn, kagaya ng iba pang mga online job platform? The answer is absolutely no. May dalawang major na pagkakaiba po yan. Una-una sa lahat, let me just use JobStreet as an example. Mga shoutout tayo sa mga JobStreet friends natin. Okay? If you're using JobStreet na resume, pwede ka lang mag-apply sa mga kumpanya na gumagamit ng JobStreet. Pag ina-apply mong kumpanya, hindi gumagamit ng JobStreet, hindi mo na pwede gamitin yung JobStreet na resume mo. Okay? Pag gamit mo resume link, pwede mo gamitin kahit saan, kahit na kanino, kahit sa ibang bansa pa, basta alam nila eksaktong resume link mo. Okay? Pangalawang pagkakaiba, kung nabigay mo na ang JobStreet na resume mo sa isang HR, wala ka na pwedeng baguhin. Kaya lahat ng information mo nandun na sa HR. Using yung resume link, pwede mo palit-palitin anytime, real time. Yan ang kagandahan. Okay? For other platform, kailangan may time frame pa. After 30 days, tsaka mo palang pwede siya i-edit. Pero sa Jobson80 na resume link, wala na pong ganong time frame limitation. Kahit na ora-ora mismo, palitin mo, it will be reflected real time. Third question is the easiest question. Can I keep my information secured using the resume link? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo, ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform pagdating sa pag-a-apply. Okay, gamitin ng resume link kasi kayo ang may control ng 100% ng privacy settings nyo. Okay? Number 4 question is the most important question. Yan ang pinaka-importanting tanong. Gaano kadalas dapat ina-update ang resume link? How often? The answer is every time you have changes. Okay? Lalong-lalo na ang contact details nyo. And the last question is just a trivia. Ang tanong, bakit siya tinawag na jobs180.com? Kaya siya tinawag na jobs180.com, it's because we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. And if you're wondering, ba't hindi daw 360? Kasi pag 360 degrees, umiikot ka lang. You just go in circle. You'll never go to the direction that you want to go to. Pero kung 180 degrees yan, it is a straight line. Straight line towards your career goal. O char-char lang po yan ha. Wala po itong connect sa feng shui. Okay, so kung may tanong po kayo about Jobs 180, resume link, at hindi natin masasagot ngayon, just feel free to go here sa info@jobs180.com, like us on Facebook, us on Twitter, Instagram, pati sa TikTok to find out the latest trends in recruitment. Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget yung Wa. Isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Kim, for an awesome and secure resume link talk. And I'd like to invite Sir Kim again on stage. Hello, Sir Kim. Good morning to you again.
Hello. Good morning.
The presentation is awesome, and we now know how secure the resume link is. Now, to our audience, go visit your school's career portal or our website to create your own resume link now. And I've been keeping mine for 11 years already. So Sir Kim is here now, so let's utilize this time to ask questions about the topic. So again, guys, the comment section is open for your questions. I'd like to know how you view the resume link, and if you have questions, we're here to answer them. So while we are waiting, sir, for the questions of our students, I do have some questions just to warm up the stage and ensure that students are comfortable in asking questions. So number 1, Sir Kim, is that what are some of the effective strategies for identifying and targeting potential job opportunities in jobs180.com, and how can job seekers maximize this chance of success?
So the strategies, I must say, based on my experience ito, when you look at the companies that you're applying for, you consider then yung proximity, example, the location. Aside from that, you also look at your skills, yung matches, does it match your passion, no? Yung trabaho na hinahanap mo. It may not be the super perfect fit, pero if it's something that calls your attention to do, it's something that you love to work on, and this is something that most importantly na talagang gusto mong trabahuin, kaya passion mo yan, di ba? Yan gusto mo gawin. Then I think these are things na you can consider para applyan yung mga companies. When you use your resume link, always make sure that you complete the information, because those information will be looked at by companies or by HR. So, lalo na yung skills. Kahit naman walang connect yung sabi ko nga kanina, di ba? Kahit walang connect doon sa course mo, yung skills mo, ilagay mo pa rin. Kasi yan din yung mga things na pwedeng i-consider ng mga companies. So, I think those are the basic tips lang, no? Based on my experience when you're looking for companies and yung mga strategies. Yan siya.
All right. Thank you, Sir Kim, for sharing that. No, passion and skills are important. Now, talking about skills, Sir Kim, I think I read in an article a few days ago that some of the companies now are moving to checking out the skills and of the candidate more. I wonder how extensive should the resume link be used when it comes to featuring your skills when you're looking for your future careers?
Okay, iyon yung kagandahan ng resume link. In terms of flexibility, it can be very flexible. No, I've seen different types of resume link as an HR, as someone who will be using that to screen applicants. Some applicants would put their information na yung mga example na, let me use this as an example. Some of them are very active outside of the school, outside of academics. So, in terms of academics, you can only do so much. You can attach there yung mga awards mo, mga certificate, mga documents. So, medyo hanggang dun lang naman kadalasan. When I say kadalasan, basically, yun yung academic life natin. Now, there are things that you're also active with. You're active with the debate society. You're active with your student organization. You are being represented by, you represent, say, example lang, a community. You are active into doing cosplay. Ayan, no? Lalo na yung summer, no, summer, no, pandemic, I've seen a lot of applicants who are into baking, yung parang entrepreneurship. They're trying their own to sell mga stuff, nagluluto sa bahay. Iba mga, ang dami, no? Even yung mga nasa mga nagko-collect ng mga iba-ibang stuff, they use that resume link to highlight yung mga things na yon. Now, bago tayo ma-veer away dun sa objective, let me just try to, put things in perspective muna. Okay? The purpose of the resume link is not a social media platform. Okay? Yan yung gusto natin i-clarify din, no, Sir Oliver? Because minsan, students would think, because nowadays, sanay na tayo, di ba? Yung mga kabataan ngayon, what they do now, they just put everything online. No? Minsan, wala na rin filter. So you can't really distinguish na rin ano ba yung pagiging professional sa social side. Now remember, resume link, the purpose here, the objective talaga of this tool is for you to present yourself more effectively for the purpose of job application. Yan talaga yung pinaka-core niyan. Now, because to be flexible, syempre, when you're trying to apply, how extensive will that be? Depende na rin sa HR. Some HR will not look at academics lang. Some HR will also look at other things that are connected to you, to that person, di ba? So, kaya nga sinasabi ko yung flexibility nito, talagang depende sa inyo. You can create videos, you can attach their mga portfolio nyo. Connected man or hindi connected sa course, okay lang. As long as you're able to present to yourself better and market yourself better dun sa prospective companies nyo. Ayan. So, I think yun yung pwede kong ma-share, no? If you have other questions, put it there sa comment section, guys. Pwede natin sagutin yan.
Thank you so much, Sir Kim. I think that's perfectly put, no, on how versatile resume link is in housing the skills of our candidates. And most definitely, the resume link is not for a dating site.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
It's for us in making sure, no, na we can find our future careers ahead. And I think I have one last question, Sir Kim, before we proceed to our next speaker. Since I think there are the students of, or the city scholars, no? The city scholars, I think they understood well how the resume link is. My last question is for the benefit of the students, Sir Kim. There are times that job seekers would apply and then they wouldn't receive any feedback about their application. Now the question is, how can job seekers stay motivated and focused during a job search, especially during periods of rejection or disappointments?
Okay. So accept the fact, ito yung unang-una, no? Accept the fact that not everything is for you. May mga things na tayo ay mas magaling sa ibang tao at may mga things and may mga times na may mas magaling kaysa sa atin. Now, when you're applying for a job, no matter how easy or how simple you think, no, yung position requires the applicant to be, sometimes it really raises the question, ba't hindi ako yung napili? Ayan, di ba? Minsan mapapaisip ka, sobrang kayang-kaya ko naman yung trabaho, the responsibilities and requirements fits all my description. In fact, ako yung perfect candidate, di ba, for that. Pero ba't hindi ako napili? Ayan. Sometimes, nangyayari talaga yun. So, ang sa akin is, treat these companies, no, when you apply, treat them seriously. One at a time when you apply, you research, make sure na yung ina-applyan nyo, hindi ito yung parang for the sake lang na may ma-applyan, ikiniklik mo yung apply button. Diba? You make sure that you also don't waste the time of the HR. Diba? So when you apply, be sincere with your application. If you face that crossroad, no, na ikaw ay na shortlist, or in this case, let's just look at it on the other side din, na reject, what do? You just keep on moving. Diba? Keep on moving. You explore to another company rin, explore another position, and if there's a chance for you to find out what happened in that application, you can also ask, ask politely dun sa HR, may I just ask, or the reasons on how I can improve so that in the future you could consider me in that position. O, diba? That's another way of asking, bakit hindi po ako natanggap? O, diba? So, minsan kasi ayaw mo naman diretso, ba't di po ako natanggap, ma'am? Diba? Ang dating kasi parang, ang galing mo naman para, diba? Minsan, they might find it differently. So, you can ask questions to also improve yourself. Pero ultimately, at the end of the day, just move forward. Di ba? Hanap lang ulit, explore lang ulit, and there will always be that company and position for you. Sigurado yan. No? Importante rin, you also improve on yourself. Hindi yung submit ka na submit ng resume link mo, yung pala, kulang-kulang detalye mo, eh talagang kahit anong mangyari, talagang mahina yung laban, di ba? Kumbaga, yung chances of you being considered, mas maliit. So you have to do your part as well. Before tayo lumusob, ayusin muna natin yung ano natin, yung craft natin, yung ano natin, resume link natin, yung mga tools natin dyan. Yun lang. So, guys, ano lang, just to remind lang everyone, you see the scrolling thing right now sa baba. Please check out a lot of opportunities there. No? Go to schools, may ESA schools.jobs180.com/CC Calamba. So, tatlong C yan. Pero, kaya sinabi ko CC Calamba kasi baka CCC Calamba, sobra na ng C. So, dalawang C lang, tapos Calamba. Dire-diretso, walang spaces in between because it's a link and you can see a lot of opportunities there waiting for you. Okay, so happy job hunting, guys.
Perfect. That's well put, Sir Kim. Thank you so much for sharing your words of motivation to our future job seekers. And I also would like to say hi to my previous professor, Dr. Jerby Muya. Hello po sa inyo. It's nice to be of service to you. Again, let's continue, no, Sir Kim? I'd like you to stay here and let me award you the Certificate of Appreciation from City College of Calamba. And this certificate of appreciation, let me just do a zoom in into the certificate. Certificate is proudly presented to Mr. Kim Chua for sharing his valuable time and expertise as a resource speaker for the employability training webinar with the theme Skills Up for Success, Empowering CCC Students with Employability Skills, held on January 29th, 2026 via online platform. Signed by Professor Michael Jade Iwanya, Dr. Jerby R. Muya, and Dr. Ronald A. Gonzalez of the Triple C or CCC school. So thank you so much, Sir Kim. May we have you again in our future
to the
events.
City College of Calamba. Thank you. We look forward to doing more of these events and more power to everyone. Salamat po. Salamat po.
All right. So, moving forward to our next speaker from Makati Medical Center, we'll be learning more about how we can, be more of what we should be when we enter the world of work. Discussing with us the DEI or Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in the workplace. Our presenter is from Makati Medical Center, Mr. Joseph Ryan S. Manzanero. He has over 10 years of experience in the HR recruitment and talent acquisition, and he has supported various companies across many industries from the BPO to healthcare. Let's welcome the Makati Medical Center's HR Officer in Talent Acquisition, Mr. Joseph Ryan S. Manzanero, to discuss with us the topic DEI or Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in the workplace. Sir, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Oliver. How are you? Good morning.
I'm perfectly fine. Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
All right. So
All
let's
right.
ensure that you have your presentation ready.
Okay.
Let's put it up. Here we go. All right, sir. When you're ready, you can share
Yep.
your screen so I can put it up. All right, I think I can
Okay.
see it now. There
All
we
right.
go. All right, sir. I'll leave you the stage and may you have a wonderful presentation for our students.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, everyone. So, good day, everyone, especially our job seekers from City College of Calamba, Laguna. I'm Ryan. I'm one of the talent acquisition officer of Makati Medical Center. And I'm here to talk about the DEI, so diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. So, especially for you guys that you are now about to enter the workforce, you will likely hear these terms, uh, like I said, diversity, equity, and inclusion, often called DEI. So, this session will not be a test, no? So there will be no right or wrong answers. We're here to get an idea, some clarification, understanding of what DEI is and what it looks like in a workplace. So my goals are here. So let's start first with the outline. So this is the outline for our session today. So there would be an introduction to DEI, what the terms mean and why they are commonly used. Number two would be the key concepts for them. Okay. Number three will give some examples on how DEI appears in public and workplace settings. Number four, recognizing DEI in organizations. So I think this would be helpful for you as you go into the workplace. And finally, hopefully, we'll be able to talk about how to apply or applying a DEI lens. So having that awareness so that you can navigate when you enter these workplaces. Okay. So let me just also talk a little bit about the learning objectives for today. So, one is hopefully at the end of this session, guys, you'll be able to define diversity, equity, and inclusion in simple terms. Number two would be to recognize examples of what DEI is in workplaces. Number three is to identify the behaviors and practices that reflect DEI. And number four is use a DEI lens to observe work culture. Okay, so why talk about DEI? So we hear it casually. Some people talk about it very seriously. So um, DEI is something that different organizations practice differently. So we're here to help you understand how that may be practiced in your future potential employer. So, understanding what DEI stands for helps you observe workplace environments more clearly and see whether what is said matches what is done. No? So, this is especially important because workplace that practices DEI consistently, they tend to really support employees in real ways. In other words, knowing what DEI looks like will help you make sense of the culture before you even commit to the workplace. Okay? With that in mind, let's break DEI in its three parts so that we can understand it more clearly. All right, so as you can see here, DEI is divided into its three parts: diversity, equity, and inclusion. These terms are often combined, but they are not the same. Okay. And later on, we will try to have a framework on how you can differentiate these three as you practice, as you go along, and hopefully you bring this, what you learned here, in your future employer. So we will look at them one at a time so you can remember and recognize each part clearly. So, all right, let's start with diversity. So definition, standard definition of diversity, it's the state of being diverse. So there's a variety, a range of different things. So in other words, it's also the practice or quality of having people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds and of different genders, sexual orientations, etc. So in other words, the diversity is basically the presence of differences within a given setting. So in a company or in a team, there would be many people belonging to that team and they have differences. So not just the physical, but also the not physical, not visual. No, so their backgrounds, where they came from, could be their lived experiences. No, so typical would be those single versus those are some are married, some have single parents, grew up with single parents, some are orphaned, or some have migrated from another country, or they grew up somewhere else and they're now here. No, so these are just some ways to exemplify what diversity could be in a workplace. So, in simpler terms, diversity means people in a workplace are different from one another in many ways, such as their experiences, as I mentioned, backgrounds, ages, and perspectives. And then another way of looking at it is it's a group that can be diverse in visual, like I mentioned earlier, like the age, the gender, ethnicity, or it could also be invisible, like the experiences, the educations, the skills that they have. So let's look at an example of what the diversity is. No? So in public, basically, you see it. You see diversity. For example, in public spaces or advertisements, you may notice people of different ages or backgrounds shown together. So very basic. No, no, they don't look the same, but they're all in a group, no, enjoying and doing things together. No, so. But despite this kind of examples, there would be some misunderstanding or some misconceptions about diversity that people may have. And one of them is that diversity is not how people are treated. No, so diversity is basically a description. It's descriptive. So it only tells you who is present. So there are people from different backgrounds. There are of different age groups, etc. No, they're diverse, but it does not tell you how those people are treated. No? So that's one of the misconceptions. So simply having differences present does not tell you whether the organization is fair or respectful to everyone. So it doesn't mean that when you're diverse, you are already done with DEI. No, so that's another misconception about diversity. Diversity alone basically is not enough. It's just the first step. Okay, so while diversity is visible, you can see it. Equity and inclusion are what truly affects the experience of you and the other people in the team or the company. So let's explore equity next. So equity, some of the example here would be it's the quality of being fair and just, especially in a way that takes account of and seeks to address existing inequalities. A great way, I believe, to show this concept is this particular picture here I've pasted here in the presentation. So as you can see, there are three people of different heights that are given different heights of support. So this one, the small one, is given more than the one that has was taller, no? But at the end of it, they're all being able to reach their goal, get the apple or the fruit from the tree. So that is an example of equity. That's a great way to show equity. So I think one of the misconceptions or misunderstanding about equity is equality. Some people may interchange that with equity, but in the next slide, I will show you how that's different. So just to give an example of equity, it's um, it's when you're a new employee in the workplace and you're given the necessary trainings for you to be able to be successful and perform just like the other people in your team. No, so that's a classic example of equity. Um, so here, next now is I'm going to show you the difference between equality and equity. So as you can see here, equality is basically everybody, no matter how different they are, or in this case, what their heights is, they're given the same amount of support. So in contrast to what we've already shown earlier, which is it's almost like they provide the appropriate training or the appropriate support for the individual in order for all of them to achieve the goals together. Okay. And then I think one more misconception about equity in some organizations, uh, it might be obvious at times, but you have to reflect on it. No, one of the misconceptions about equity is about favoritism. So equity is not favoritism. It just means fair support. So in this particular example, the girl here whose height is she's shorter than everybody, she is technically not a favorite, no, because she's given more of the support. This is a way to differentiate what equity is versus someone being favored. If it's going to be favored, possibly could be like other people who don't necessarily need the support are given more pa. So that would be something that you can determine as um, alluding to being a favorite. No? So another misconception or misunderstanding with equity is that it's not about lowering standards. No, so it's not saying that this guy would not need more support and he can do it less or more or for whatever reason. No, it's not giving special treatment. No, the girl here is not given special treatment when in fact it is about just supporting people and meeting them where they are so that everybody gets to achieve the same standard. Okay? So, understanding this differentiation or distinction helps you notice whether opportunities in an organization are genuinely fair. We're looking at it that way, no? So, um, it looks different, but in fact, they are being fair. No, so that's as a future employee in companies, you might hear people talking about how someone is being given more or whatnot. Before you jump into thinking whether that person is being favored or whatnot, try to look at it in the lens of equity, as I've just tried to explain in the earlier slides. No? So that's one thing that might help you. Next one, let's move to inclusion, which focuses on how people feel in the workplace. So, like I mentioned earlier about the framework of DEI, whereas diversity is about a description of the people, of the team, of the organization, the people who belong to that organization, and equity is about how they are treated, meaning fairly, they are supported properly, and they're met where they are. Um, Inclusion naman is where the lens is how the person feels. No, so inclusion is basically creating an environment where people feel they feel welcomed, they feel respected, and are able to participate fully. That is actually the go-to or the hope for having inclusion. So it's to make everybody feel so welcome, so well respected that they're now more comfortable participating because when you're in a diverse group with many different backgrounds, with many different insights, if one of them is not feeling supported or not feeling welcome or respected, you lose that insight from that person. No? So it's important that the company performs or supports inclusion so that they're able to really maximize all the efforts or all the best of each of the workers or the people who work in that company. Okay, so a team, okay, so as I mentioned, a team can be diverse, they can be equity minded, but without inclusion, some people may still feel outsiders. So let me just read through here the definition of inclusion. As I mentioned, it's the action or state of including or of being included within a group or structure. And the reason for that is you want them to be able to participate fully, being authentic with themselves, so that the best of themselves are the one are given to the company. No, so it's also the practice or the policy of providing equal access to opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized, such as those who have physical or intellectual disabilities and members of the other minority groups. Okay, so again, going back, this is quite important. I feel that basically inclusion is feeling welcomed and respected. What are the company's policies, structures, what are their systems that make the employees feel welcomed and respected? Again, so that they can fully participate, and that way, the company benefits from the experiences, from the diverse experiences of the people who work in the company. Okay. So some misunderstandings or some misconceptions about inclusion. Um, Inclusion doesn't mean that you are exempt from the standard and expectations. So just because you are a certain way doesn't mean that you are not supposed to deliver this or that, no? So that's not inclusion. So I think that's a good clarification on inclusion there. Um, What else? Okay, so let's see now how these three concepts, diversity, equity, and inclusion, show up together in organizations. So this is how I believe, I hope that this would be something that will help you guys out. No? So how do you observe DEI in the companies, in your future organization, like maybe in your school, maybe they have programs that enable um, students that are not maybe well off and are able to join the classes or be able to be enrolled and study because they are able to give them the support. So that's an example of equity. And thus, the people who are there have different experiences from those who are able to enroll properly, no issues. So that's diversity as well. And basically, how the teachers um, treat them and how they teach each other, and doing that would be the inclusion part, so that these students, they feel welcome, they feel respected, and are able to contribute, no? So I think in this particular slide, I'd like to just mention how and remind everyone, especially those who have some work already, when it's diversity, equity, inclusion, it's usually a lot of posters, a lot of slogans, a lot of social media posts, especially during the special occasions like Pride Month, etc., or Women's Month for that matter. That's all well and good because that's a great way, a testament for the company to show that they support and adhere to and are espouses the concepts of DEI. But beyond that, you should be able to observe it through their actions. Okay. um, that's one of the things that you have to observe with the organization that you will be hopefully joining and then staying for a long time. And aside from the actions that they perform, they are consistent with it. So there's a continuous effort to perform in that manner. And that's exemplified by daily behavior that you can observe. Okay. Okay, just to sort of give you um, a framework on what it is, or what should I ask myself so that I'm able to observe whether an organization that I belong to right now supports and does DEI. So you ask yourself questions like, are am I or are people treated respectfully day to day? Okay, so that goes to the consistency, the action, and the daily behavior of the organizations or decisions. Are the questions answered without ridicule, for that matter? For example, you're new and you're asking some questions. How do they react to you asking questions? No, and three, for example, are you as a new employee, do you feel supported when you're learning these new tasks? That's a very basic way to gauge whether an organization does do or they support DEI. No? So real inclusion often shows up in small everyday interactions, not just policies. Understanding these make it easier to identify organizations that are genuinely supportive, and you want that, right? So let's focus now on how you can recognize real DNI in practice. So for recognizing real DEI, again, in context to you as job seekers, I think these would be areas that you can look at to see that the company is in fact doing DEI or supports DEI. There's training followed by practice. Okay, that's one. So of course, no workplace is perfect. No, what matters is the pattern of behavior of the company over time. So one instance that you observe something that you feel does not espouse or support DEI does not make the company bad, or you can already disregard the company's efforts to DEI. No, did you look at the totality, the pattern, the behavior of the company for a long period of time, so you can really determine whether the company lacks or needs more support in terms of espousing DEI and so on and so forth. So, kasi truly inclusive organizations, they tend to follow through on what they promise. Okay. And then how do they do that? What are practical ways for you to to know that organizations are doing real DEI. One of them would be they invest in things like training, like they have open communication and respectful feedback. So when you ask questions or something like you need to be corrected, how is it delivered? Is it respectful that you're able to learn from the experience versus getting agitated or getting distracted by the manner by which the feedback was given? No, that's one. Yeah. So these are just some things that you can observe or try to observe in an organization so that you can determine whether you would like to stay because they espouse or support the AI. And again, the reason for it is because you want to be authentic when you work. When you come to work, you bring all of yourself because your experiences, who you are, the diversity that you bring to the organization is going to give a positive effect to the organization. And that has been, studies have shown that as more and more people from different backgrounds join together and they are comfortable enough to share their experiences, share their insights, and solve problems, they are able to tackle the problems much faster. They're able to give more solutions, etc. So it's always a good thing. That's the end goal for DEI is for everybody to be feeling well supported, that they're able to contribute positively to the organization. Okay, so I think I'm about to end now my presentation. It's probably the second to the last slide. So again, I'm just gonna try to drive home for you as our job seekers from City College of Calamba, Laguna. No? So what does this all mean for you? I mean, you're just about to start and we're talking about all of these things that companies do. No? So I hope that this particular presentation will give you some working framework when you come into an organization, aside from adjusting to the new environment, but also try to observe because, again, DEI will help you. A company that supports DNI will help you not just perform in the role, but you also will now be more comfortable to explore, to better your skills, to learn more, and to really develop yourself. So you have to find a way to determine whether the organization that you are in supports DAI because it's going to support you in the end. It's going to give you the level of comfort that you're able to share and learn and develop yourself from a newbie, someone who's fresh from college, to the workforce, and hopefully someone who's very tenured or someone who's up in the ranks already. Okay? All right. So just a quick slide or two on our organization. So as I mentioned, we also here at Makati Med espouses DEI. So we have commitment to learning, we have a respectful workplace and developmental opportunities. Just a few of the things that we have here. So at the center here is our year-long training on diversity and inclusion that our HR learning and development offers to all employees. And then every so often we have a lot of seminars, a lot of symposiums to discuss how to have more diversity, how to be equitable, and of course, inclusive. All right, so finally, that's it. I hope that I'm able to give you some knowledge so that you can become more aware. And with this awareness, you're now able to prepare and tackle some of the work that you will do in the context of DEI. Okay. All right. So that's my presentation. Oliver, thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Do you have any questions?
All right. Thank you so much, Sir
Hello.
Joseph, for a very insightful presentation about DEI. I wonder if you can hear me, Sir Joseph?
I can hear you, sir. Oliver, yes.
Perfect. Perfect. And sure, it helped us and the students, of course, the city scholars, be more confident in who they should be when they enter their future companies. Okay. So, again, for our city scholars, the comment section is open for any of your, lingering thoughts related to the topic discussed. While waiting for your entries, I do have some questions prepared for our speaker today to know
I
more
do have
about
some
DEI.
questions.
I do. I did prepare a few questions so that we can further expound on the things that we
Okay.
have discussed today. And I really love that presentation, Sir Joseph, and how timely it is in today's world, and how we should be really diverse in being aware that there are different people around, especially in the workplace, and making sure that they are well respected and that they're fully supported for what they need. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So with first question, sir, is that can you share? No, can you share a situation wherein diversity in a team led to better ideas or decisions at work?
Okay. Right. There's a lot actually, but for us, it's about, well, an example that I can give would probably be here just in recruitment. No, some of us are, um, I would use the term younger. Okay, let me focus on that. They're younger, so they're more, in that sense, techie, and as such, when a problem arises and there's an element of tech involved in it, they have a lot more ideas to share, and they are a lot, there's sometimes they know more how to solve the issue technically, you know? So that's just one of those things. Imagine everybody's like in the boomers in the team, and they have this problem on technical, no? So um, they will solve the problem, but it may take some time. So there.
That is awesome. It does. It does make sense, though, on how we should make sure that we can support each other and
Mm-mm.
diversity, and ensuring that the team is well informed. We have people there to support each other is really good feeling, no, to have working in a company with that workplace. Thank you, sir, for sharing that. I do believe that the future careers of our students, they would really be part of this TEI, in action. Okay,
Mhm.
so another question that I have is that for fresh graduates entering the workforces, we're talking about them go to the workforce sooner or later. How can they contribute to the inclusion,
Mhm.
even if they're not yet in the leadership roles yet?
Mhm. Okay. Well, it's basically how they interact with not just their colleagues, their new colleagues, but also their managers, everybody in the organization. So how they behave, um, supports their effort to become more inclusive, because what you give out you receive. So if you're respectful to the people that you talk to, they should be respectful towards you, no? So um, that's one basic example of making people feel included. So being nice to them, being respectful, and asking them their thoughts already, especially for the new ones, no? um, yeah, you have to learn the skill of getting out of your own way, so to speak, when it comes to you as a fresh graduate who's going to a new environment. If you're going to be new, and there would be a lot more newbies, if I can use the term, it's easier because everybody's kind of sharing they're on the same boat. So it's just a matter of getting to know each other, and you somehow feel well connected already. But if you're just one person in an organization, you have to learn to somehow get out of your way and really be friends, especially if you're a shy person, or you somehow feel awkward and all. So yeah, that.
Awesome, sir. And I think many people are now shy. A lot. I think a lot of has happened in the technology, of course. More of the meetings
Mhm.
are now
Mhm.
online. When
Mm,
the
mm,
pandemic hit, everything is online. So I think more people tend to become introvert and whatnot. But then again, that's where the EI comes in. Making sure that
mhm,
they are fully supported of what they need, in varying support. So since we're talking about the things that can contribute to the inclusion, or the behaviors that they should do to ensure that they present or support yung ating inclusion. What are the some subtle behaviors naman, or workplace habits that unintentionally, make people feel excluded? And
mhm.
I wonder if you can share us some tips as well on how we can improve on these.
Okay. Um, I think one of the things that can inadvertently make other people feel excluded would be if you happen to have someone you know very well in the organization already. Um, you are so comfortable, and your level of relationship that you have is somehow beyond maybe even the professional, but of course respectful, nothing um, untoward or nothing that will call the labor or employee relations on that. No, so but what I mean is, if you tend to spend time, a lot of time with just a person or two or a team, the other people who might be interested in getting to know you more might feel left out, or they might feel excluded. No, so I think one of the things that you have to be aware of is that, so self-awareness, as I've mentioned earlier, is, I hope, what I can give through this presentation, which is you have to um, observe and then try to espouse being inclusive with other people, not just the ones that you are close to in the organization. So eventually, I think that it's going to take some time. We're not going to take that away from a process of a person. Someone may just be quite comfortable immediately with a person and they feel that that's enough for them, no? But as you mentioned, that can accidentally or inadvertently um, exclude or make the other person feel excluded, no? So hopefully in the organization, as time goes on, there would be occasions or events that will enable that person to now be interacting with you, or you with that person, no? So no one naman is a silo in an organization. Yes, you may have some people you're close with, but that doesn't mean that that's the only person that you're going to be talking to, for that matter. Yeah.
That's awesome, sir. That's a great insight, no? Sometimes meron tayo talaga mga work buddies na parang yun na lang yung mundo natin in the workplace. But then again,
Mhm.
it's always best to ensure that you can include others as well in your group of friends in the company. Thank you so much, sir, for your
Welcome.
wonderful insights. I really appreciate that. And I do believe that the city scholars have taken note of the things that they should do, no, in a workplace to ensure that PEI is parang ini-embody nila yung DEI.
Mhm.
So I'd like
Okay.
you to stay on stage, Sir Ryan. I'd like you to receive the certificate of appreciation. Let me read the wordings for your certificate. Rewarded by City College of Calamba. So, hang on, let me just zoom it in. The certificate of appreciation is given. A certificate is proudly presented to Mr. Joseph Ryan S. Manzanero for sharing his valuable time and expertise as a resource speaker for the employability training with the theme Skills Up for Success, empowering Triple C students with employability skills, held on January 29, 2026 via the online platform. Signed by Professor Michael Jade Wanya, Dr. Jerby Armuya, and Dr. Ronald A. Gonzalez of the City College of Calamba. Again, Sir Ryan, thank you so much again for your time today. And may we see you in more events with our partner schools.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Oliver. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, give Sir Ryan a round of applause, visual round of applause. See you when I see you, Sir Ryan. All right, moving on to our next topic for today. This is second to the last speaker. Our topic would be entitled Workplace Etiquette. So we now know about DEI and making sure that we know how to include others in the workplace, though. So we're now going to talk about workplace etiquette and personality career coaching, which will be presented by TTEC and with Miss Lady Lynn Catimbang, the talent acquisition specialist of TTEC. Miss Lady Lynn Catimbang is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Human Resources Management from PUP Santa Rosa in 2023. She has been with TTEC for 2 years and 3 months, starting from October 2023 as a talent acquisition specialist, and she passed the Certified Human Resource Associate or CHRA examination last August 2025 and was promoted as a talent acquisition specialist number 2 in October 2025. Let's welcome TTEC's talent acquisition specialist to discuss with us the topic workplace etiquette and personality career coaching, Miss Lady Lynn Catimbang. Miss Lady Lynn, hello. Good
Hi,
morning
good
again.
morning. Yes, good morning, Oliver. Can you confirm if I'm actually audible?
Yes, you are audible and I can see you clearly. And the audience are excited to see you and your presentation, and I can see it here now. All right, so I'll leave you the stage. Please take the spotlight. Here you go, guys. Miss Lady Lynn Catimbang.
Okay, well, yeah, once again, good morning, everyone, especially to our students from City College of Calamba. Well, I hope that you've all taken your breakfast before diving into this discussion. So, once again, good morning. My name is Lady. I'm part of the talent acquisition team of TTEC. And today, I want to share a story of how I actually navigated from being a newbie as a professional, which I think is related to our topic for today, which is workplace etiquette and personal coaching. So, maybe you've heard of the word etiquette a lot of times already, but yeah, just to give you guys a context, or maybe from Miriam's dictionary, etiquette actually refers to the expected behavior or the proper conduct that people are required to follow in social or official settings. But yeah, as a newbie in the corporate world, how are we supposed to know and practice this what they so called etiquettes? Okay. Well, yeah, I'd like to. I know team that this question might be um familiar to you already, or I think you've already have asked this question already to yourselves. So yeah, let's begin with my story. But yeah, before we actually proceed, can you guys maybe help me? I think my presentation is not actually working. Okay, there you go. Okay. Well, yep, going back, I'm sorry for the technical issue. But yep, going back with my story. So, as a fresh graduate, when I first stepped into TTEC, I was a new hire. I was a bit bright-eyed, hopeful, and honestly a little overwhelmed. I felt like, I felt everything all at once, all of this emotions that you can see on the screen: happy, excited, afraid, nervous, curious, and very determined. And for the professionals who's with us right here, especially with the speakers a while ago, I know for sure that you can also relate to what I felt at that time. But maybe for those who are about to finish college, for our students right here, this might prepare you as to what you may feel right after stepping out of college. But if there's one thing that actually comforted me on this path or during this journey, is this quote on our screens, which is, every expert was once a beginner. And yep, with that, let us start with this roadmap, or what I call ladies journey map. So as we can see on this map team, we will be tackling 4 chapters in which I will walk you through later. And it's or each chapter, let's see how I navigated as I try to learn the workplace etiquettes. And if you feel like you can relate to each chapter, or if you feel like you have questions or you would want to engage, our chat box or our comment section is really open. So let's keep our chain of experience coming. Okay. And yep, going back, I actually do not have any idea how to behave as a professional when I started. Sure, I know the policies and etiquettes at school, but corporate world is actually way different. And this is why I am grateful that our company, TTEC, has established its core values, which really guided me on navigating as I become a professional. And yeah, with that, let's tackle these core values and how they help me discovering and building, somehow I can say, my own workplace etiquette that may also be useful for you, team, if you would be starting off your career in the corporate world. Okay. So when I started team, everything was new. There was new system, new people that I have to work with, new expectations, and with a big opportunity that the company provided me, I was really eager to prove myself. But before proving myself, I needed to understand, of course. So for the first TTEC value, it is seek first to understand. So this value became my first survival tool. And team, as a newbie, we have to pay attention and we have to understand instructions, because this is the time that we are still on the process of learning the role that we have to play. Okay, we have to take note that it is important as well that we seek clarification for us to be able to do our tasks correctly. So in this one, or with this value, I have learned to listen carefully, of course, take down notes, ask questions, clarify instructions, and admit when I don't understand something. And let me tell you, asking questions does not make you less capable. Um, I can recall that there were actually days where I felt embarrassed asking the same thing twice when I was starting out. But then I realized that asking and listening is actually part of being a professional. So slowly things started to make sense. And then came the second part, which is doing the right thing. So learning the rules, being accountable, and taking responsibility. So team, as a newbie, it is important for us to know the rules, and once we already know it, we have the responsibility, and we have to be accountable of our actions. So if we know that we made a mistake, we have to own up for it. And of course, this value taught me that integrity is not perfection. Okay, it's about honesty, humility, and owning your actions. And that mindset helped me shift from simply being a new hire to becoming a reliable teammate. Okay. Seemed easy, right? Well, seeking first to understand and doing the right thing actually wasn't that easy, team. But, seeing everyone around me doing it, I think it helped a lot. As I got more comfortable, I actually have realized something important when I was already on my chapter 2 of my journey. But yeah, before we dive into the chapter 2 of my journey map, I'd like to know if you guys are still there. Maybe you can send in a love or heart reaction on our Facebook Live, or if you can send in some words in our comment section, that's gonna be great. Okay, there you go. I can now see some heart reactions from our Facebook Live. Thanks so much for that, team. And yep, moving forward or going back to the chapter 2, one thing that I have also realized when I was playing the part of a teammate, I realized that corporate success is a team sport. Okay, we have to keep in mind that we don't win alone. You can't survive alone, and you definitely don't grow alone. So we really need to work with other people. Thus, it is important for us to support our team and communicate openly. So this is where act as one comes in. So trust me, team, I saw how powerful teamwork can be when we are actually supporting each other during our peak hiring days, when we cover for teammates who are swamped, and when we communicate openly instead of working individually. So there are actually some weeks when our pipelines were heavy. There are a lot of applicants and our deadlines were tight. But what kept us going was our unity and our communication with our team or with one another. And this chapter in my journey taught me that collaboration isn't just about helping. It's actually about sharing the load, sharing the win, of course, and of course, sharing the purpose. And that sense of belonging pushed me to keep improving. And it seemed like a lot has happened already, team. But yeah, finally I celebrated my first anniversary with TTEC. So this is gonna be the chapter 3 of our roadmap or our journey map. And I can say that it was a turning point because by this time I wasn't just doing tasks, I was actually aiming for impact already. So team, as part of an organization, it is also important that we strive to go beyond the minimum and seek for continuous improvement. And reach for amazing encouraged me to go for it. I strive to deliver quality results and I challenge myself. I ask for feedback and I continuously learn new skills wherein I found better ways to do things. You know what? I learned that good enough is not enough if you want to grow because we have to listen to feedbacks, most especially the constructive ones. Because by embracing feedback, I started to becoming not just a better recruiter, but a better professional overall. And with that, it led me to the one of the most meaningful milestones in my journey, which is being promoted as a talent acquisition specialist too. Okay, so can you imagine when we started, I was just a newbie who's just, as confused as you may be right now. But indeed, team hard work pays off. And with this chapter, it actually taught me two powerful values. First is to lead every day. Okay. Leadership team, I learned, doesn't require a title. So it starts with an initiative. It is actually, with seeing what needs to be done and doing it. And as a team player, as I've mentioned, I was a team player before during my chapter two. But during this one, I had to leave already, and or I had to lead already, and I had to be proactive. I remember when I was started, I'm really shy to share my ideas during team huddle. So I always opt to just, do things silently. But little did I know how I do things can help our team streamline some process. So when we discovered it, it helped our team and it changed the way we do recruitment. So, as a leader, we also need to set an example team. Of course, we're not gonna be a newbie forever, and there will be newcomers as well. And we need to remember that they are where we are when we started. Okay, so it's just chain reaction. So if it helped us, we have to pay it forward, and of course that is by being an example to them. So with that, I practice, taking ownership of my tasks, maintaining professionalism, and showing consistency. And yeah, lastly, team is to live life passionately. This is actually my favorite value. So working and juggling, everything at the same time might really be stressful. So let's not forget to bring enthusiasm to work and take pride in whatever we do. We have to, of course, celebrate small wins because, passion is contagious, team. It gives us, or it gives life to our work. And I believe that, it inspires everyone around us. Of course there were days when I actually was really tired, but passion reminded me why I do what I do. And with that, I always remind myself that I am not just filling roles. I'm helping people find opportunities, and I'm helping people change their lives. And that's actually part of, or being part of, something bigger, and that what fuels me every day. Okay. Are you guys still there? Can I see some reactions? Okay, thank you so much for that, team. So, yep, that's it. We're able to complete the journey map already. And as you can see, team, it is quite a roller coaster ride. I started as a newbie who was confused and nervous about this journey. But I seek first to understand, and I did the right thing. I've become a reliable teammate who's motivated to work with my team. And I reached for amazing after a year with the company. I was really determined, and finally, I was able to reach my goal and got promoted eventually. I acknowledge that win, and now I strive to be an example to my teammates while living life passionately. Team, you see, it might be a long journey already, and I've already come this far, but I know that I still have a long way to go. So, and so as you, since you are still, starting out of college, about to step out of college, there will still be a long road ahead of you. And right now, I guess I'm just so lucky that my journey with TTEC almost seemed perfect. Okay. I have really supportive teammates, I have great mentors, and I am with a company who shaped me to be the professional that I am today. But, team, I also acknowledge that our experiences are actually different. Maybe some of you might have the same experience that I had, but of course, some may encounter some dead ends or maybe roadblocks. And you might be wondering, lady, what if I experience a roadblock? What if, my experience wouldn't be the same as yours? What should I do? Will this etiquette still, be useful if I will be applying them? Okay. So, yes, team, I hear you. Okay. As mentioned, my journey seemed to be perfect when we see it on paper or as we see it in this presentation, but I still encountered some step backs. I did not actually I did not actually just reach it overnight. So thinking about it, I guess what helped me the most are these etiquettes that we have in these bullets. So first of is we have to pause and we have to take a step back. Okay, when we are swamped, we usually do not see the bigger picture. So before pushing forward in frustration, we have to take a moment to breathe, because of course a brief pause can help us reset, regain perspective, and sorry, avoid unnecessary mistakes. Okay, sometimes clarity comes when we stop forcing the solution. And second, when something isn't working, let's make it a habit to document what happened, and let's see what we have already tried. This is not only keeps you organized, but it also makes it easier for others to help you quickly, especially when you are or when you need to escalate the issue. And third team, we instead of focusing only on the problem, try to think through possible options or workarounds. Okay, if we keep on dwelling on what went wrong, it could also affect our morale. So it would be best if we keep our energy on focusing on the solution rather on the problem. And lastly, part of handling roadblocks effectively is knowing what you can manage and what you can't. It's perfectly okay to acknowledge when something is outside your bandwidth, your knowledge, or your authority. Being honest about your capacity helps set realistic expectations and prevents tasks from piling up silently. And when you reach a point where you're unsure how to move forward, that's the best time to ask for help. Okay, let's remember that reaching out doesn't show weakness. It shows that we are responsible enough, mature enough, and committed enough to get things done right away. Okay, and team, what I learned with this journey, this whole journey map, is that mistakes are part of learning. Okay, we have to really understand that we don't grow by being perfect, but we grow by trying, failing, and trying again. And of course, we have to also realize that feedback helps us grow. So it's not criticism. Let's always remember that feedback is not always criticism, but it is clarity. And third of skills get us hired, but attitude keeps you growing. It is why it is important that we really know and we establish our workplace etiquette that is aligned to how the company also works. And then lastly, consistency builds reputation, team. If people trust you, they will see, or if they see how reliable you are, they notice everyday actions, or they notice what you do in your everyday tasks. And team, as I look back, I'm actually really grateful for every chapter, the confusing ones, the overwhelming ones, and the exciting ones. So TTEC core values didn't just guide my career. They shaped my mindset, and they shaped my work ethic. They actually, I think, they shape who I am today as a talent acquisition specialist. So to everyone, especially to our students right here who's just starting out, or will be navigating their career path, always remember to trust your journey, embrace challenges, stay teachable, and leave your values. And yeah, to wrap it up, team, I want to leave this quote from Shakespeare, which is an excerpt from Hamlet. To thine own self be true. It reminds us to stay authentic, stay grounded, and stay aligned with our values, because our journey is defined by who we are, not by what we do. And I must say that I am actually on a great place, because the company, or I think I'm lucky because the company that I am with today has values that also aligns to mine. So if maybe you've been inspired by my journey map and would want to be with a company who stands with their values, you might also be interested to be part of our team. here in TTEC, as we are still looking for, passionate customer service representatives for our hotel reservations account. So the details are actually flashed here on our screen. So you may scan this QR code that we have on the screens. And we're also partnered with Jobs 180. So you can also visit their website. That's going to be www.jobs180.com/ttechjobs. And yeah, you can visit our Facebook page. That's going to be TTEC Philippines. And we also have a site here in Santa Rosa, located here in Robinson's Place, Santa Rosa. Okay. So I guess that's just gonna be it. It's really a pleasure to share this journey with you. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Miss Lady, for an inspiring and encouraging talk. And I love your testimony and your story, of course. It reminded us of who we should be or who we should aim for, how we should inform to ourselves to be to pursue, our career, our career goals. So thank you so much,
Mhm.
po, for sharing all of those things or your insights. So let me open the floor for questions. Okay, so to our students, our audience, please do utilize the comment section for any of your questions related to the topic. While we are waiting for your entries, I do have some questions to our
Mhm.
speaker, yeah, so that we can talk about a few things, no? So
Mhm.
about workplace etiquette and personality care. It really did inspire me, Miss Lady, about your story, and I saw some in the comments as well that they wish that they heard these things when they were just starting, no? So
Mhm.
Clint, but it's not too late. I am pretty sure, I am pretty sure that it's not too late. You can always be inspired by these talks, ayan, and especially from TTEC, ayan. So Miss Ladyline, just a question here
Mhm.
from your experience, no? What workplace behaviors immediately create a good first impression, even when you were just starting or as a fresh grad?
Hmm. Well, maybe I could, as I have mentioned a while ago, I have really supported teammates. We actually do have a good environment. That's what I saw when I was an intern. Because just to, give you guys a backstory as well, aside from the roadmap, I actually was an intern with TTEC before, and then I got hired before graduating from college, actually a week before graduating in college. And what I love about this place that I'm working with, or maybe one culture that we have built as a team, is to really work as a team or to act as one, because even though I started alone when I was a newbie, I did not felt that I was alone because my teammates are really supportive. So now that we do have newbies as well here on our team, I see to it that I also support them with what they need, and that they will be knowledgeable of what they need as well in terms of the tasks that we have. I think that's one of the etiquettes that we should practice. As I have mentioned a while ago, we have to pay it forward, because of course we all started as a newbie. So I guess that's really one of the workplace etiquettes that I really value, which is working together and collaborating with your teammates.
That is awesome, share. And young candidates right now, I think it's really awesome to know that TTEC, no, is displaying how great workplace it
Mhm.
is, with your experience. And thank you for
Mhm.
sharing that. Now, one of the things that you have also mentioned in your presentation is staying true to yourself, right?
Mhm.
From the Shakespeare quote, and sometimes challenges do arise when you're now working in an environment, in a workplace. Changes, challenges, things can pile up, no?
Mhm.
And sometimes they would be wondering, as freshmen. So, how can students, balance being professional at work while still staying true to their personality or themselves?
Mm. Well, yeah, that's also one thing that I've shared a while ago. It's acknowledging your capacity, because, there are times, or maybe you've heard of the word fake it till you make it. But that's actually good. That's also good. But I think it is really, or it is more appropriate if we also acknowledge what we can do, and so that our team can also help us if in any case that there will be workloads that may be out of our bandwidth, or something that we are not really used to doing, because that is when we learn, and we can make sure as well that we are guided when we do those things. And in terms of personal life, it is also, I think, applicable as a person, because as a person we have to know also what we can do and what we can't, and I think it is something that we can also apply to our workplace, because it really encompasses a lot of aspects. It encompasses integrity, because you know that you are acknowledging to yourself that you don't know something. It also, I think, encompasses your commitment to learning, because you are admitting that you still have to learn something.
That is true. Thank you. Thank you for that answer. And I do believe in what you mentioned, that you have to be transparent about your capacity. And it's part, I think, to
Mm-hmm.
be assertive in a way, to be assertive of what you can do and what you cannot contribute to the
Mm-hmm.
company, to the demands. And one thing also that I learned when I started working is that never answer a question na natanggap mo na hindi ko alam, tapos na. So always
Mm-hmm.
try to find solutions, or if you don't know the answer to the questions thrown at you, at least admit that you don't know it, and then show attitude that you are going to look for the answer. So thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much for sharing that, Miss Lydin. And I think I have one last question, kasi parang naintindihan naman na ng ating mga viewers today yung ating discussion, which is really inspiring. I really love it. What are some of the unspoken words? Maybe these are the things na hindi nila na itatanong. What are these some of the unspoken workplace rules that fresh graduates usually learn the hard way?
Mm, maybe with the Gen Zs that we have right now, because I think Gen Zs are the new um part of the our workforce. I think it is knowing to read a room, because there are a lot of times that Gen Zs, this is not to actually generalize everyone, but there are times that we actually tend to just assume everything. So we really have to read the room. I think that's also one workplace etiquette that we should be knowledgeable of, or that we should be aware of. We have to read the room, and we have to make sure that we are aligned with everyone, and do not assume, but rather be proactive in asking questions, and in making sure that you are aligned with your team.
That's a great tip. No, I can't count how many times I mistakenly read the rule.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, I was out of place. A lot of things happened when I was started working. But I think experience will also bring us closer in how we can read the room. So, thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for sharing that, Miss Lady. I appreciate your insights, your tips, and how you have shared your experience and your roadmap in a professional career. And it's very inspiring for our candidates, especially that they are just about to graduate college. And as our appreciation to show you, I'd like to give you the certificate, award to you the certificate of appreciation from City College of Calamba. And let me read this writing on the certificate. The certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to Miss Ladylin Catimbang, CHRA, for sharing her valuable time and expertise as a resource speaker for employability training webinar with the theme Skills Up for Success, Empowering CCC Students with Employability Skills, held on January 29, 2026 via the online platform. This is signed by Professor Michael Jade Wanya, Dr. Jerby R. Muya, and Dr. Ronald A. Gonzalez of the City College of Calamba team. Again, Miss Ladylin, we hope to see you in more events like this, and I really love your presentation. More people should know, about your path and how you were able to take the attitude being as successful as who you are now. To more success, cheers to you, and we hope to see you in more events, Miss Ladylin.
Thank you, Oliver, and thank you so much, CCC students.
Okay, now we are down to our last speaker for today. So we talked about earlier about the building your own resume link, which is, by the way, is gonna be required as your as part of your clearance before you graduate. So make sure that you know how to create one. And then we talked about Sir from Makati Med. We learned about how we can be diverse and be equity and inclusion in the workplace, of course. And last recent just Earlier, we learned about workplace etiquette, and now we're going to learn about assertive communication, which will, of course, solidify our preparedness for the future careers ahead. Okay? So, for our last speaker, this will be delivered by none other than one of our partner companies from ADP Philippines, about assertive communication, a guide to becoming an effective, confident, and collaborative communicator. She has been in the BPO industry since 2007, a former member of the academy. She has been part of the HR training and operations upon joining the corporate industry. With ADP, she has handled niche and volume hiring and is currently also one of those tasked to manage the hiring platform for the Philippines talent acquisition. To help us become better at saying what we want to say with the topic assertive communication, let's give it up for Miss Potch. Miss Potch Tort, come up on stage, please. Hello, Miss Potch.
Hi, Oliver. Good morning.
Good morning. Exciting to be with you again today in this event. So I hope you can share your slide for our audience today.
Alrighty.
There we go. I can definitely see it now. All right. So,
Alrighty.
Miss Potch, I'm going to give you the stage. Please take the spotlight and may you enjoy your time here.
All right. Thank you so much. So, good morning, everyone. As mentioned by Oliver, today I am tasked to speak about assertive communication. So, hopefully, you will be able to pick up something from the presentation. So, first off, let me start by introducing myself. As mentioned, my name is Potch. Currently, I am HR consultant for ADP PH Talent Acquisition. So, when people ask me to describe myself, I use the words teacher, trainer, speaker, writer, performer, leader, and learner. And I always say in all my presentations that the most important word among all those is learner because you absolutely learn something new every day. However big or however small, you always learn something new every day. So let me talk about the company that I represent. I represent ADP. So what is ADP? So ADP stands for Automatic Data Processing. Who we are at ADP, what we do is about people. We have a strong history of providing solutions for human resource challenges. Beyond that, we challenge ourselves to anticipate, think forward, take action in a way that empowers us to shape the changing world of work. We are a comprehensive global provider for cloud based human capital management solutions. So, for those who are listening who take up HR or business, I'm sure you are aware of what HCM is. So, that involves HR, payroll, talent, time, tax, benefits administration. And currently, we are a leader in business outsourcing services, analytics, and compliance expertise. So, by and large, ADP is one of the outsourcing companies in the Philippines that provide HR services. So, this is what we do human capital management. We focus on our clients' biggest investment, challenge, and opportunity, which is their people. So, the ADP client, usually these are business owners who have to take care of their business. And in taking care of their business, they need support in taking care of their people. So, that's what ADP does. We take care of the company's people so that they can focus on what they do best. And why do clients and employees choose ADP? Three reasons: growth, stability, and culture. Constantly growing, constantly evolving, constant new clients, new income streams. Stable, we've been in the Philippines for roughly about 15 years. So, fairly stable. Globally, we've been around for about 80 years. So, global stability and also local stability. We're pretty young, pretty small, but we're there. We're stable enough. And culture wise, of course, we foster a culture of professionalism. And here at ADP, although, like what I mentioned, we are very small, it pretty much works well. And we are able to do well in our work. All right, so let's go to the topic on hand. So, the topic on hand is assertive communication, tips on becoming a more effective communicator. So normally when I talk about a topic, I start with the basics. And let's talk about the basics of communication. What is communication? So, as a noun, communication is the act, or as a verb rather, sorry, it's the act process using words, sounds, signs, or behavior to express or exchange information or to express thoughts, feelings, etc. to another person. So, you can communicate verbally, you can communicate through written form, you can communicate through sign, you can communicate through touch, you can communicate through sight. So there are many, many forms of communication. And even with the between friends, right? Sometimes you would just look at your friend and you understand each other. So that's a form of nonverbal communication. So there are many forms of communication. So these are a lot of words related to communication. So this is our word map, so to speak. Everything that's here, they relate to communication. I'm sure in one point of your life or another, you have used one or all of these words in your daily lives. Of course, our topic is assertive communication. So, what is assertive communication? So, assertive communication is specified as the ability to speak and interact in a manner that considers and respects the rights and opinions of others while also standing up for your rights, needs, and personal boundaries. Assertiveness is an effective and non confrontational way of expressing one's disagreement with a particular situation or concept. Assertive communicators can speak up for their rights or for the right of others honestly and elegantly, such that interpersonal conflicts are reduced and respect for others is maintained. So, please note when it comes to assertive communication, there is elegance, right? A lot of times, and right now, I believe in social media, the people tend to idolize people who are strong speakers, but there is no elegance in the honesty. Dare I name a few names? But I'm sure you've seen them in social media. There was this lady who was in a dark room and she was pointing a finger on the camera and throwing obscenities, and people were like, oh, she's very honest. But if you think about it, was there elegance to what she did? So, no. So, even if there are interpersonal conflicts, there has to be a proper way of speaking and interacting, and you have to be able to respect others while you stand up for your own. Again, rights, right? Rights have boundaries, they're not fully out there. So assertiveness may involve rejecting demands, beginning, continuing, or concluding a conversation, asking for favors, and positive and negative feelings. While assertive communication occurs in a variety of forms and situations, it generally involves achieving one's goals without creating unpleasant scenes or jeopardizing relationships. So, unpleasant scenes, if the scenes already make you feel uncomfortable, if the scenes are already getting too much attention, if the scenes are already jeopardizing or putting at risk your relationships with people, then that's no longer assertiveness. That's just being a brat. That's just being a know-it-all. That's just being someone who wants that what they want without considering what other people wants, right? Again, I go back to the lady in the room. So if you listen to that tirade, you would see that it's no longer pleasant. It's unpleasant, right? So you have to be able to achieve your goals without being unpleasant or without jeopardizing relationships. So, assertive versus aggressive. A lot of times people confuse aggressive versus assertive communication. So, what's the difference between the two? So, assertive communication promotes equality, is respectful, using firm but gentle speech, is in control, communicates confidence, uses a relaxed stance, respects personal space, shows a calm effect, reflects supportive behavior, is honest and forthright, uses a relaxed facial expression, involves requests, aims to express needs, is respectful of rules, results in problem solving. So example is follow the steps in the guide. So when you talk to someone and then you tell them, oh, here's what you do, follow the steps in the guide, here are the steps of the guide, then you are asserting yourself. You are asserting the process. Versus aggressive communication. If you are employing aggressive communication, you are denying the rights of others. You are demeaning and hurtful. You are using loud or menacing speech. You are out of control. Communicates haughtiness, uses a rigid stance, violates personal space, shows an agitated or emotional effect, reflects competitive behavior. Competitive behavior is I'm better than you. You are nothing. I am better. Reflects is deceitful or manipulative. I'm sure we know a lot of people using a tense facial expression, involves demands, aims to win, aims to win, does not value rules, creates more problems, and as an example, often says, just do what I say, right? If you encounter people who will say, gawin mo na lang, huwag ka na magtanong, right? So definitely that's a form of aggression. If you look at also uses a relaxed stance versus a rigid stance, respects personal space versus violates personal space, right? If you recall, someone who does this, right, does that, it's very pushy. You are violating the personal space of the other, versus if you just sit there and you do it calmly and you give your message, right? So you know who these people are. I'm sure you are aware of these particular examples. And yet people idolize them. People say, oh, they're so honest. They're so out there, right? But is that professional? Is that something that we should idolize? You have to consider that when you try to communicate. Moving forward. There are several ways to employ an assertive communication style, and there are 9 ways to do so. First is to do direct eye contact. So this shows that you, the speaker, are strong and not intimidated. Obviously, if you shrink back, then you're not being assertive, right? If someone talks to you and really gets in your face and then you just go, right? So obviously, that's not assertion. That's not assertion on your part. That's also not assertion on the speaker's part. That's aggression. So if they give you aggression and you counter with shirking, then definitely that's not going to turn out well to you. So it's better to just show direct eye contact. Assertive stance or posture. There's a right balance of strength and casualness. For example, standing rigid may come across as aggressive, whereas slouching may be perceived as weak. So if you're at it too strongly, right, then this is aggressive. But if you do this, then this is weak, right? So you have to find a balance between your posture. Tone of voice. A strong voice conveys assertiveness, but raising one's voice, sorry, one second. And raising one's voice shows aggression and is likely to be met with anger. So, evidently, if you raise your voice too much, right, it already shows aggression. But if your voice is modulated enough, confident enough, and straightforward enough, then it would convey assertiveness. If you think about it, your parents, right? The more your parents scream at you, the more you don't listen. But if they take a tone wherein it's straightforward and slightly stern, I would say, then you pay a little bit more attention. So tone is everything when it comes to communicating. Facial expression, expressions that are neither angry nor anxious are essential for sending the right message. So you know those people na parang puputok na yung veins here, right? So that affects their expression, right? If their face is about to burst, if they're so red and their veins are popping, then that's not really something that you would respect. You would most likely laugh at them and say, oh, bolo ko dyan, atakihin ko sa puso. right? So you as a speaker also need to balance your facial expressions. Timing. Assertive communication must be executed at the right time. Example, making requests for one spouse in the middle of a dinner party is not likely to be received well. So, timing is everything. When you talk to your bosses, your teachers, your parents, usually, right, you think about, okay, is the timing right? Is this a good time to ask? Is this a good time to talk to them? So, you try to balance as well your timing. Is this the right time? Filipino saying, what's that? Makipag-away na sa lasing, wag lang sa bagong gising. So, even in situations like that, you also have to time your assertiveness. So, timing is very important. You have to use non threatening and non blaming language. For example, language such as if you continue to do that, you will be sorry is threatening rather than assertive. For your teachers, if your teachers say, if you don't do this, you will all fail, then it's not very assertive of them, right? They become a little bit more aggressive and you lose respect for them, right? Or if your friends say, sige ka, pag di mo gawin to, ibubuli ka namin. Or sige ka, pag di mo gawin to, hindi ka na namin friend. Di ka na namin friend. So, those threats or blaming language is a negative and it's not being assertive. So, there should be a proper way of convincing people to be able to sway them to your way. Clarity. For example, can you please not be that way is vague, while can you please not walk away when you're talking more clearly conveys the speaker's need. So when you are asking for favors or when you are communicating with people, you have to be clearer with your message. What are you trying to convey? Do you want this to happen? Or do you want that to happen? Because lack of clarity and lack of certainty also does not show assertiveness. Positive language, for example, making a negative request is less effective than making a positive request. So sometimes when our parents would tell us to clean up, right? They would say, "Huwag kang baboy, huwag kang basura," right? So it's negative versus, can you fix this instead? Or can you help me do this instead? So it's a more positive approach. Of course, if you're really a slob and you don't stop being a slob, you can expect that you will not get the positive language that you want. Sabihin pa, parang binibaby ka naman masyado, di ba? But in situations wherein the negative request no longer works, maybe the positive request can work. And a positive request employs a more assertive, not aggressive communication style. And of course, language without criticism of oneself or others. For example, phrases such as, I know I'm overly sensitive, but could you please not use that word? And didn't anyone ever teach you any manners? Are critical rather than assertive. So I'll give you a great example of this from personal experience. So I was watching a movie. This happened a few months ago, and the person on my right kept using his phone, and I warned the person. I asked, is it possible for you to not use your phone, or can you please not use your phone? And he was even taking pictures of the screen and taking video of the screen, and I was like, okay. And then I was so pissed off. Ang sinabi ko talaga, first time mo bang manood ng sine sa sinehan? Talagang super bithy of me to say that, but it was a language of criticism, right? It was a language of criticism, and it was aggressive rather than assertive. And I did try to be assertive, but since it wasn't working, I became aggressive. It's not the best example, but that's an example of criticism, right? Eventually, his friends felt that it was wrong for him to sit beside me, so they moved the person to the other end. But fair warning to everyone in this forum, please do not do that. Do not open your phones while you are in a movie house. The movie house is not your sala. The cinema is not Netflix. So the cinema is cinema there. But beyond that, criticism of others does not always bode well. A lot of people are, again, idolizing loud people, idolizing people who are quote unquote very honest. Oh my God, she's so honest. She's able to say what's on her mind. But what's on her mind is not really elegant or respectful. So should we really respect or idolize that person? Right? So we are who we idolize. So do we want to be seen as that way as well? So you have to be able to think about the language that you use. So again, these are how to employ an assertive communication style. So always remember that assertiveness is a tool for making your relationships more equal. If you assert yourself properly, you will be able to get what you want and sway people to what you want as well. So to cap off our 20-minute talk, let's talk about careers at ADP very quickly. Current openings at ADP, we have openings for analysts, specialists, coach, consultants, team leads, managers, directors, and HR interns, but these are seasonal openings. So please feel free to visit ADP Careers on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and I believe on TikTok also. Hashtag work happy. And our Jobs 180 link, so www.jobs180.com/ADP. And there you go, 20 minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Potch. I really love your energy during our talk. And I hope the City College of Calamba students were able to also get the message pretty clearly, of course, very clearly naman. And again, it's a very reality-based but insightful discussion. As always, Miss Posh, I love how relatable the topics are and the stories are as well. I was laughing on the backstage on how you, yung movie scene, no, grabe talaga, no, grabe. But yes, one thing that I also noticed, I really love how the chicken in your presentation can really look confident, no?
The theme for today is chickens.
Yeah.
So that's my theme for today, chickens.
Awesome, awesome. I really love that, Miss Potch. Now, I just want to encourage again our students from the City College of Calamba in the comment section. Please do shoot your questions there. We have our speaker today. And while we're waiting for some entries, I want to discuss a few things with Miss Potch about the topic related to communicating better. Miss Potch, one thing that I want to ask on behalf of the students is that what are the common situations where fresh graduates struggle to communicate confidently and how can they overcome them?
For fresh graduates, definitely when they try to be pushed around at work, if it's their first job, right? You always end up with people, hopefully not, but I mean, when I was a fresh grad, I did not experience it. I was in an environment that was very pleasant. When I was a fresh grad, I experienced the unpleasantness later on. In my later days. But in the early days, it was quite pleasant for me. But often, if you're new, you experience the unpleasant situations wherein people try to one up you, right? In Tagalog, pataasan ng ihi, right? Like, sino ka ba? Sino ka ba? Ba't ka nandito? Ba't ka na-hire? Right? What do you bring to the table, but in a meaner way? That's often the question. So again, we go back to the things mentioned in the presentation earlier. You assert yourself properly, you don't use demeaning language, you speak elegantly, you don't fight fire with fire, right? But you fight fire with fire retardant or water, right? So if you are able to keep your calm and remain to be the pleasant version of yourself, then they will not have anything to throw at you anymore, right? They will be able to see your value, see your worth, and eventually put you at a level of respect that they expect for themselves as well.
Right. And it is, I think it's also a challenge for many, it's a challenge for many on how they can practice assertive communication. Sometimes we come along as aggressive, sometimes we come along as weak, but it's really difficult to strike the balance. Even us professionals in the world does fall or fail sometimes or make mistakes or maybe medyo malayo sa pagiging assertive. But have you ever seen an example in your experience in the office that assertive communication helped the misunderstanding at work, Ms. Potch?
Definitely. In the field that I am in, we often deal with people who are not local,
Ah,
right? So they are ADP, as you know, is a global company, right? So we have the Philippines branch, and then you have the India branch, the US branch, and we have to be honest. Even if people say that racism should not exist, it does exist. So we would get people, not everyone, but there would be instances wherein because you are from Asia, because you are in the Philippines, they tend to talk down on you, thinking that you don't understand. But if you come from a place with years of experience, you just have to match their energy. You just have to be able to present yourself as someone who is knowledgeable. So it happens in the real world, whether it be a senior person looking down at a junior person or an international person looking down at an Asian. It happens. And what you have to do is, again, you have to go back to asserting yourself using the correct language. You have to go back to being able to speak properly, speak up for yourself, right? And communicate properly. Because if you miss out on that, then you wouldn't be able to, I'd say, fight back, right? You don't really fight back and, curse at them because that's wrong.
yeah.
Although, again, we go back to people idolizing people who like to curse. And it is what
Yeah.
it is. You can't do anything about it. But that's not the way to do it professionally. So, meaning they're not professional.
In shorter words, definitely,
In
Miss Posh.
shorter words. Yes.
Right, right. And there are lots of examples that we know, no, examples online, wherever you look at, examples of assertive communication, examples of not assertive communication. So knowing this topic helps us be vigilant and be better at what to idolize or what to follow within our lives. No? And that can bring us in our professional growth. So, Miss Posh, I just have one last question
Sure.
on behalf of the students. So, for students who are naturally shy or really reserved, um, is there maybe one really tip that you can share to them for them to practice, practice assertive communication?
Communicate like your wallet dependent on it. If you want to buy milk tea later, you have to communicate. If you want to buy McDonald's, sorry, promotion, or Jollibee or whatever fast food, it's to be honest, you end up having skills in life because of need. Because you need to. So in a practical sense, if you're a shy person, if you're an introvert, again, there are different forms of communication, right? It's not all verbal. Then maybe the verbal space is not the best space for you, right? There are many careers out there, and it takes time to find it, but people find it, right? People
Yes.
find non-voice opportunities. People find opportunities for visual arts, opportunities for non-verbal communication. And you have to find your strength. And if you say that you are an introvert, you are shy, but you are in a space that requires you to talk and be assertive, motivate yourself through money. And then find an opportunity wherein you will be more comfortable because your comfort is more important, right? So for
Yes.
now, okay, you work on it, and then when you earn enough, then you try to find a space wherein you will be a better person. Because if you keep at it and it's not really your comfort zone, then your mental health will suffer, your physical health
Yes.
will suffer, right? But until you find that opportunity that will allow you to relax, then use money as motivation. And just pray that the flood control gods get to help us or something. I don't know. But yeah, assertive communication practice, 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 practice with your friends. Read on better ways to use your words. Know more words, because if your vocabulary is limited, then you're limited to curse words and screaming, right? So, uh, yes, we know. So, don't limit yourself. Practice, practice, practice. And then again, if find opportunities that will be comfortable for you. Because if you're not comfortable, you won't excel.
Amazing, amazing tips, Miss Posh. I really love that, and it's really awesome that we should find, no, in our life, we should find the place where we are valued, just like in a pawn shop, kung saan man, kung ikaw ba ay
Sari-sari store.
di ba,
Masaya.
sari-sari store. You find the place where you are, where you are valued. I remember a story, a grandfather, a dying grandfather, giving the watch to his grandson. Now asking the grandson to go to maybe a watchmaker or somewhere, and the value of the watch is really low. But when they went to an artifact or to a museum, the watch, the value of the watch goes high. And it's really awesome, no, that we should find where we are valued, and that's a lifelong learning. And assertive communication, of course, is essential to do that. And of course, money is important. We love that.
Money is important, sir. Important test.
Important is
Important
but
test.
we hope that our scholars, city scholars, would find a place where they are valued. In a Japanese terms, ikigai, wherein you can contribute to the world and you are valued by where you are as well. No, monetary, practically, spiritually, and mentally, you are valued. Okay, and thank you so much again, Miss Poch, for a very loving and entertaining talk with you. And we hope to see you in more events like this. But before you go, let me present to you the certificate of appreciation from the CCC. And let me read the wordings in the certificate. This certificate is proudly presented to Miss Potch Tort for sharing her valuable time and expertise as a resource speaker for employability training webinar with the theme Skills Up for Success, Empowering CCC Students with Employability Skills. Held on January 29, 2026 via online platform. Signed by Professor Michael J. Duanya, Dr. Jerby R. Muya, and Dr. Ronald A. Gonzalez. And again, Miss Potch, thank you so much for your time. Send my regards to the rest of the team.
Thank you,
And
Oliver.
yes,
Thanks,
all
everyone.
right. See you when I see you.
See you. Bye.
All right, so that's it for our topics for today. I hope our city college students, our city scholars are able to note those steps that can help them drive their career further and their passions burning. Thank you for the speakers who share their time and knowledge and expertise for this generation, for this webinar. And again, thank you for the audience for your participation in this event. And before we close this, before we go to our closing proper, let us hear a few words from our dear professor, Michael J. Duanya, Registered Guidance Counselor and LPT, the Director of Center of Guidance and Counseling Testing Admission, Job Placement and Career Development. Wow, that is a lot. Professor Michael, please take the stage.
Isang makadiyos at makarasal na araw po sa ating lahat. As we come to the close of today's webinar, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone who made this event meaningful and impactful. To Jobs 180, headed by Sir Kim Chua, Ma'am Joyce, and the rest of the team. To our esteemed speakers, Sir Joseph, to Ma'am Lady Lynn, and Miss Torch. Thank you for generously sharing your expertise and real-world insights. Your guidance has given our students a clear picture of what employers look for and how they can confidently prepare themselves for the world of work. And to our graduating students, thank you for your time, attention, and active engagement. We hope that the lessons you gained today will inspire you to build strong habits, develop in-demand skills, and take intentional steps toward your career goals. Remember, employability is not just about getting a job, but about continuously learning, adapting, and growing. May today's webinar serve as a starting point for your journey toward your meaningful and sustainable employment. Once again, thank you, and we wish everyone success in their future endeavors. Have a great day.
Thank you, Professor Wania, for your kind words and inspiring our students and ensuring that our students are prepared for what is ahead of them. So, to close this webinar, I'd like to introduce you to our evaluation. We want to know your thoughts about this webinar, and of course, we want to improve in our future webinars as well. So please take time to evaluate this event, and this will also serve as your attendance. If the link didn't work, kindly take a screenshot as proof of your attendance with a date and time today. If you have concerns, please reach out to the Guidance and Placement Office of your school. And for our certificate, please get your certificate through the online form that we have here today. You can follow the link that's described on the slides, or you can scan the QR code that you see online. All you need to do is enter the needed information when you follow the link. Ensure that the correct email address and name are entered, and you will automatically receive the certificate through the email address that you have indicated. If you encounter any issues, just send an email to events@jobs180.com for us to further help you. And also, please be reminded that the City Scholars are required to create your ResumeLink accounts, as this will be part of your clearance before your graduation. The recordings of this webinar will be posted in jobs180.com Facebook and YouTube channel. And if you need further information, please make sure to follow your school's Facebook pages for webinars and other announcements regarding career and placement services. Watch out for more and next set of webinars hosted by jobs180.com this week. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/jobs180.com for the topics that will be discussed, and you're welcome to join in, even if it's not your school. And that, our session ends today. I hope you learned about how to make your resume link, how you can be professional at work, ensure that you know how to communicate well, and of course, the ethics on what we should do or aim to be as we go in our workplace and discover more of our careers. So, thank you so much, and see you, and may you have a great turn ahead. Again, my name is Oliver from jobs180.com.
Sa pasilap ng kinabukasan, kamay namin ay iyong tangan. Pinagyaman ang talinong likas, talento ay pinamalas. Pangarap ay iyong tinatahi, ika'y lugar ng bahaghari. Yamang aral sa aming pinataglay, prinsipyo ay pinatitibay. Dalo ka saan ng Calamba, sa lungsod ikaw ay biyaya. Bangay laging umaapaw, kinang mo'y tulad ng sa araw. Dalo ka saan ng Calamba, sa lungsod ikaw ay biyaya. Nang parang hindi mauupos, pasasalamatan kang lubos. Ika'y namumukod tanging sadya, kalumhasa